problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. And it's all good. Feel like I'm the big dog, been killing it since tip off. Come with it or stay home, the people gon' feel ripped off. It's only major leaguers in the office. If you giving half of an effort around the rest of us, you'll make it awkward. I'm about that action, not the one you talk with. You better hope I'm not the one your coach gon' have you out here really guarding. It took a lot for me to get here, but I have arrived. I really made it and the haters be looking surprised. Been down before, but now I'm better than I've ever been. Through all adversity, I saw the light now at the whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. Yeah. Okay. They say pressure makes diamonds. That's what I align with, cause the journey I've been climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came from the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
You waited all night for me to come back. Why'd you think that it's not alright? Told you that I'm not that type. Didn't mean to get you so excited. Tried to tell you not to fall in love. Why you always hit me uninvited? Just hoping you would get the picture. I've had enough. Now it's time for me to turn around. Thought you knew what this was. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have fell for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back your heart. Call it a savage love, just till I had enough of us. I'm good, babe. I'm on my own. This ain't a phase. Just let me go. Told you that I'm not that type. Don't bother wasting breath. Begging for one more chance. Yeah, know you got carried away. Ooh, you made me to say. You've been messing with greatness, faces, stay in your place. I was looking to play, then you got in the way. All the love that we made got me stuck in the rain. Got no time to stay here and say goodbye. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have fell for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back your heart. Call it a savage love, just till I had enough of us. Yeah.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Looks like the players are ready. Here we go!
After a long and grueling break, we're back with the day 3 of the challenge season in Snapdragon Pro Series, Call of Duty Mobile. I'm going to be a host of Casterneck Rojon. Alongside with me on the panel, it's I Super Johnny. And as we know, it's the day 3 of the challenge season. And Johnny, for you, we were almost away for 2 weeks. How was that break for you, man?
I mean, the break for me was fine, but I'm pretty sure it was quite stressful for all of the teams that are not doing so well in the overall leaderboard right now. Because, I mean, once again, when we started the journey of the challenge season, we knew every team was going to get 4 games, and a few of these teams have already played almost half their matches. Most of them are doing well, but today I think the talk of the town will be Accelerate. They're supposed to play their last match, and they've been doing very well for themselves as far as the overall leaderboard is concerned. Hopefully they can keep the winning streak going right now, having even lost like a single game in the overall leaderboard. So that's going to be quite exciting to see. And along with that, I think a lot of teams are going to be preparing that bounce back. We had a lot of expectations from Strike, from the likes of Panda Express, but unfortunately the journey wasn't off to a great start for these 2 names in particular.
Johnny, you can't be doing like that. As soon as the show started, you just dropped a bomb. You just gave a big spoiler. Accelerate's going to be playing their last game, but you know what? At the start of the day, things are going to be kicked off in quite a tactical manner. Before now, let's have a look at the prize pool. First placing team will be getting 80,000 rupees. The second one will be getting 50,000. The third one will be getting 40. And of course, it's going to keep on descending downwards. And keep this thing in mind, this prize pool is going to be given to individual Group A and B.
Yeah, and now after the reality checks are given to these teams, let's have a look at the teams themselves. The motivation factor was there in terms of prize pool, but we talk about Group A, Anthem, Galaxia, Accelerate, Team Felines got a second chance by being invited into this challenge season. Not really off to a great start, and of course Team Strike over there as well. Group B, we have NonStop, Panda Express, Time to Pound, 5 a.m., and of course Godlike Esports. And again, Group B, they are having an interesting journey amongst themselves as well. Time to Pound off to an amazing start. Godlike as well doing very well. And NS sticking on that 3rd position. But Necro, we have the schedule for the day in front of us. And there it is, match number 3, Accelerate versus Felines, their last match for the group stages.
Yes, it is going to be, but we're going to kick things off with the match 1 itself, which will be between Anthem and Galaxia. And now, Johnny, if you remember, of course, we started things off with the open finals. Galaxia, they started things off from the upper brackets, by the way. Later on, they moved down to the lower bracket, which was, of course, quite a bad note. But then Galaxia 5, with the way they dominated the lower brackets and moved back on forward towards the challenge season, it was quite remarkable. Today, they're facing off against Anthem off the rip, and I do not know how to feel about that because Anthem has been quite a dominating force.
Yeah, Anthem have been quite a dominating force, as you mentioned. They've taken on Felines, winning off in a 2-0 in that particular series. But as we moved on to the next game that was played by Anthem, a loss against Accelerate, which was kind of justified. Accelerate, all of course, proving extremely strong in every single matchup they've been involved in as of now. But today, going up against Galaxia, I think this one, Anthem, they have to make sure that this is a comfortable win for them.
It has to be. If Anthem is going to make it super close once again, just like the way they made it against Felines, well, things will be a little bit dicey for them, especially when they face off against some of the big names, like maybe when in the future, if they do face off against Accelerated once again, that things are not going to be that great. You need to have that good momentum in your fate. Well, you move on towards Galaxia. For this team, things have been filled up with quite a lot of ups and downs. For Galaxia in the lower brackets, they definitely did dominate quite in a good margin, but in the lower brackets, let's be honest, they weren't really tested to their fullest push the limits. Today is going to be the day where Galaxia 5, they need to perform out of their minds.
Oh, it's going to be intense. As you mentioned, Galaxia 5, they need to play out of their minds. They need to play the best Call of Duty Mobile they have brought into this Snapdragon Pro Series. But it is going to be an interesting match, of course, going up against Anthem. It's never going to be easy. Anthem on paper as well. The lineup itself is pretty stacked. You look at Wiz, you look at Sundance, Starboy, Sonochi, all of them have performed phenomenally well as far as the individual numbers they've put on the board go. On the other side, from the side of Galaxia 5, it seems like Necro always a lot of pressure on Mobs to perform, and if he fails to show up, then maybe Galaxia 5 will be in a little bit of trouble.
And let's be honest, right over here, the heavy favorites are going to be Anthem, of course, because that's what the stats say as well. Anthem, they have been doing pretty good. Even against some of the known names, Anthem, they have made sure that even they kneel in front of Anthem. So for Anthem, Galaxia 5 is not really going to be that difficult of a challenge on paper. So over here, of course, fan favorites are going to be Anthem. We all expect them to win, but Galaxia 5, of course, we're open for surprises.
We are open for surprise, and we're quite happy every time we get those surprise results, right? Galaxia 5 with walk away with the win. It will help them to bounce back inside of the challenge season right now on that overall leaderboard, and then maybe they can rely on just Feline dropping all of their games. But map veto, that's going to be extremely important inside of the series as well. When we do have the map veto on our screens, we kick things off on Summit, which has been picked by Accelerate, and then we move on to Tenacia, picked by the side of Strike. All right, so this is going to be interesting now, how these two teams fare up against each other, but it is Galaxia 5 right now. So again, Galaxia 5, I believe they are the ones who have picked up Tenacia right now, and if that is the case, then maybe things can get interesting, Necro. Tenacia again.
Yeah.
We've seen the stronger teams take a beating on that map as well.
Yes, we have. I mean, in general, for Galaxia 5, too, as I mentioned, they are going to be in that pressure point at this point. And knowing the fact that Galaxia, this might just be their outing as well from this entire tournament, they're going to have a lot of those demons they're going to be fighting in their heads, let's be honest. And for Anthem, somewhere down line, they might know that they're pretty much going to be the one to come through victorious. For Anthem, they've got nothing to lose. For Galaxia 5, there's everything to lose. But this is where the real mentality comes into play. When you've got everything to lose, you should play like you've got nothing to lose.
That is very true. I mean, if it's your back against the wall, you really have nothing to worry about, right? You lose, you are getting kicked out, you win, you still have a fighting chance in your future matches. And I think Galaxia 5, that is what makes them deadly today. That nothing to lose attitude that you also spoke about. If that actually sets in their minds and they go all out inside of every single mode that they play, starting off on Summit itself, because Summit is going to be the first challenge, the first hurdle for them. But before we jump into the action, let's have a look at the leaderboard as it stands right now. We have Accelerate, as we mentioned, leading the charge with 3 wins, no losses. Anthem with a win and a loss on the board. Felines with the same record, 1 win, 1 loss. Strike with no wins yet, which is quite surprising, and 2 losses already there. So Strike can't really afford to lose a single game, and Galaxia 5 still in a much more manageable position. 0 wins, but only 1 loss.
Yeah, they've only played 1 game so far, and today they're going to play their second game. Today they're actually going to play 2 games back-to-back. So for Galaxia 5, one thing is for sure, when they face off against Anthem, their hands are already going to be warmed up.
Yeah.
But then you move on towards Group B, and look at these overall standings. Time to Pound, a team that was struggling in the open finals, by the way. Now they're on a 2-0 streak, and you love to see it.
Yeah, you do love to see it, but I mean, we all know, I think Time to Pound, we're waiting for that time when we get to see them go up against Godlike, because that is going to be the big title fight inside of Group B itself. 2 of the best teams in the country going up against each other, and Time to Pound right now, the form they are in, they look very deadly. So I'm expecting them to actually walk away with at least a map off of Godlike, at least in the challenge season. Once we move on to the challenge finals, the LAN finale that's set to take place at DreamHack in Hyderabad, things can be extremely different. But for now, I think Time to Pound, they definitely do have a chance of kind of beating Godlike, or even if not walking away with the entire series, at least walking away with a few maps. But bringing the conversation back again to the matchup at hand, Summit, Accelerate. Now, that is an evil move, man, to be honest. With how Accelerate is playing, I think they're going to dominate that first mode.
I mean, let's be honest, right? For Summit, Accelerate is one of the most classic maps, and for some reason, we already know Accelerate, what's going to happen in the future. They have been playing on that map for such a long time, and we've already seen the course of action as well. And for Accelerate, when they're facing off against Team Strike, I just feel bad for Team Strike, because for Team Strike, no matter what team they've faced so far, things haven't been that great for Team Strike. They've always been getting striked hard every single time. And the fact that this is going to be the last game for Accelerate to face off against Team Strike. Now, I do not really want to sound biased over here, but that's what the stats say. And on paper, Accelerate is much, much more better than Team Strike. But if they still do pull off an upset, it will be one of the biggest upsets that the community has ever seen.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be true, but it is going to be difficult. And again, same goes for Anthem and Galaxia 5. I think Anthem definitely, considering we have seen them play this map in the past as well, and on paper they are the stronger team. As you mentioned, it's a much more default map. Players with experience know where they need to position, know how to control the choke points as well. And once those score streaks come online, man, it becomes a big challenge to try and retake those hard points as well. So that is, I think, something that Anthem is going to try and do, farm those score streaks as quickly as possible and then use them in the later stages of the game to try and build up additional pressure if they already had a lead going. If they don't, then maybe they can use it to initiate a comeback.
The way I look at this is, for Anthem, this is going to be all about the momentum game, right? If they do win this game, Johnny, this is going to be a great momentum setter for the upcoming matches. Before Galaxia 5, it's the fight for survival. If they lose out on this, they're screwed. They do not have any chance to make any sort of comebacks in the future because backs against the wall, as we know, because if they do lose out on both the games that they play so far, then what's going to be separating the third game?
Oh man, that is going to be intense, but hey, talk about intensity rising, and we do have the first mode going live. It is going to be Hardpoint, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to be Anthem off to the races, but look at the kill feed, Necro. It seems like Galaxia, they're off to a decent start, having somehow managing to control the pressure, and they do get those kills in the first Hardpoint in the control of Galaxia 5.
They already do, and even the shotgun R9 pulled out by Starboy. This time around, it's not really going to work out that well. P1 already in a great way, controlled by the players of Galaxia 5, and this is something we never saw coming, by the way. We thought Anthem was going to be the one to start off with a great momentum packer, but unfortunately Anthem are now struggling. But here comes the shotgun. Once again, it's all going to be down to holding those choke points, and it's all going to be those post points control.
Oh, of course, but here's a little bit of a soft comeback initiated by Anthem, and what brilliant positioning by the players of Anthem, just sticking around in those corners, forcing the players of Galaxia 5 to overextend to try and take the fight inside of the hardpoint, and as soon as they do, there it is, the frag comes in, Mobs is going to be shut down, Rogue and Disparity also taken out, Lakshay falls, and Anthem now in complete control of the game. There's no way Galaxia 5 are struggling to try and react to this, but Anthem brilliantly done, 34-14. Now they've started to build a little bit of a lead for themselves, but it's going to be Galaxia 5 who take control of P2 before Anthem. And Mobs, he need to line up the spray. If he does, then maybe Galaxia 5 will have a little bit more breathing room to work with for this hard point.
If the game keeps on going the same way, back and forth, one thing is for sure, this hard point will be super close.
Yeah.
Anthem, they need to realize one thing off the rip. Galaxia, they're pretty comfortable in taking the lead on the hard point, and that's something Anthem need to try and counter. Because right now as well, Galaxia, they've got to hold on this hard point, and for some reason, Anthem is not able to create that chokehold they're supposed to. Anthem, yes, they're able to find a few multi-kills, but that's really not going to find you the control that you desperately want. Only 20 seconds left in the hand, and Galaxia 5, once again, even if the Anthem do get the lead in their hand, it's not going to be that big of a lead that Anthem wants.
Oh, it's definitely not going to be, but Anthem, here they come. Starboy again with an R9, takes down one, and right in his face as well. Drago can't really do anything about it. That's going to be the third for Starboy. And Necro, it is as we feared. The score streaks, they are coming online for the side of Anthem, and as soon as they do, Galaxia, they're going to start struggling for control, for that pressure that they want. But the game, in terms of the points, in terms of the score, is still very close, and Galaxia do have an opportunity to still make a comeback in this match.
Gotta give it to the players of Galaxia 5. They're pretty proactive, but this time around they've been countered by Anthem, and even the Sparrow being pulled out from Starboy FK. Some heavy investments being made from this guy because they want to have the complete control of this hard point. And for the players of Galaxia 5, the only thing they can see in the future is by taking and snatching away this control they currently have at this point. And still, for some reason, Galaxia, they somehow do establish the control back in their hands. A War Machine being pulled out by Legacy, but it feels like it's not able to find that much value that it's supposed to, but eventually it does as well.
Just the passive pressure of the War Machine, keeping the players inside of those corners, allowed Anthem to move in, and now they have control of this hardpoint as well. And it's only in the last few seconds that they make it through, but still, they have the lead in their hands as of now, almost doubling the score of Galaxia. But it's now time to move on to the next hardpoint, and the players of Galaxia 5 are the first ones there. Anthem, they're going to play for a retake now, and it's not going to be an easy one for sure, but the pressure from those score streaks, from those operator skills. It's a little too much. Legacy, what was that? Lakshay was hiding in a corner. That was a cheeky move, but still he gets shot in the face.
That was nicely done. Even the equalizers are being pulled out. Disparity is ball inside of the kill feed, finding a few multi-kills, and these multi-kills can really be a major table turner. Once again, Johnny, Galaxia 5, they do get the hard point control, and this is not going to be great news considering there's still 35 seconds on the clock left for this entire point. Anthem, they need to find the equalizers. They need to find the trades off on the hard point itself, and it's going to be with the help of this equalizer skill. This man single-handedly empties the entire point and gives it over to his team.
Man, what a move over there. Galaxia, they had no answer to that. And as you mentioned, Necro, that was a gift being given to the players of Anthem. That equalizer, equalizing absolutely nothing, but gives the complete control of the game right now to Anthem themselves. Galaxia still struggling to find those frags, struggling to find those kills, and struggling to take any control of the hard point. We are back to P1 now, and this time around, Galaxia, they have the hard point surrounded, but there's no one moving in. And Anthem still looking for those frags, are looking for a little bit more advantage inside of this game.
Anthem's now starting with a duel fair and square. Look at the kill feed, Johnny. Anthem, they are all across the kill feed, and for some reason, Galaxia 5 is not even finding any sort of trades. The team play is now fading away. The crossfire is not exactly on point, but as I say so, there's a wave of kills from Galaxia 5 as well to snatch the control back in their hands, and Anthem is now starting to fall short, but once again, they're here to redeem themselves. Even Starboy FK is trying his best to get something done on the hard point itself. Sundance and Legacy work together. The OG duo, they're back.
20 seconds, it doesn't matter how much time Anthem has, it doesn't matter if they're late to the hard point as well. They win those fights and retake the control of the hard point. Now look at this, the players of Galaxia 5, they are surrounded from every single direction, and Anthem decide to move in 155 to 80. Anthem still have a big advantage to work with, and Galaxia 5 still struggling for any sort of control. Last 4 seconds remain, and Anthem, they are looking to switch up to that P2, already moving in onto that first floor and looking for a fight, but the players are getting shut down finally as Mob finds those 2 early kills, and now it is going to be a backstab coming in, but still, oh, Sundance, brilliantly done, does relieve his team of some pressure, and Anthem once again in the driving seat of this game.
The amount of investments we've seen from the side of Anthem, and they keep on popping up with those as well. These operator skills, they're really starting to be a big pain in the foot for Galaxia 5. Akira needs to be found. They need to stop the kill flow that the players of Anthem are able to find, and just look at this. Lining him up, Sundance, this man is just mowing down the lawns, and the opponents, they're just stacking up in the front. Even a hunter-killer drone was out, and Sundance is clearly going to get the trade for it as well. On the kill feed, it's Anthem all across the board, and Anthem at this point in time, the amount of lead they have established, it's going to be next to impossible to snatch it back in their hands. Galaxia 5, they're screwed.
Galaxia 5 are definitely screwed over here. Anthem almost reaching the 200-point marker, and this, it looks like, is going to be their game. But this is what we expect to do, right, Necro? As soon as we see Summit, we know it could get extremely one-sided, and Anthem proving why they picked this map today, controlling this game from the start till the very end. There's still a little bit over, just over 50 points to go, but Anthem, it seems like, looking for the fight on the next hard point. It's going to be quite close to the spawn of the players of Galaxia 5, but Anthem, they do not care. Legacy finds the first frag, Disparity with a trade, but it's still going to be Anthem looking to move in. The R9 gets the first, the man hiding in the corner finds the trade. Is that going to be enough, though?
Is that going to be enough? That's the question that I'm wondering, and even you're wondering at this point.
Yeah.
And maybe the viewers as well, because 196 to 111 will make it 12. Galaxia 5, yes, 4 now. They do have the control, but the real question is, are they really going to be able to find the equalizer? And that's what we all are wondering. Even a few more skills being pulled out. We also saw the claw, but not a lot being established from the side of Galaxia 5. 4 now, they do have the hard point control. 20 more seconds will be there in their hands. And the good thing is, at least they have set up those crossfires, so that even if the players of Anthem do want to snatch it back in their hands, it will be next to impossible. But look at the players of Anthem and what they're doing. They're already ready for the next point control.
Well, and look at this. As soon as we started praising Anthem and expected them to close out the game, Necro, their count on those points, it's completely stopped. Now it's going to be down to this hard point. Anthem, they've made it their first. Starboy is going to look to defend it with that shotgun in his hands, but it's not going to happen. The players of Galaxy move in. Anthem, they pull out that
oh no,
that flamethrower, but it still doesn't work out. The Predator missile coming in from Disparity is going to look to find multiple frags on this, but it's not going to work out. Anthem finally pushing just a little bit over that 200 points. But can they close out this game? Now that is going to be a big question. They are moving. They have 30 seconds on this hard point, but they need to make sure that they build on this pressure. Starboy is still standing strong inside of that hard point.
Anthem is pretty smart. They let the players of Galaxia 5 have the previous hardpoint control while they were super proactive and moved on forward to the upcoming hardpoint instantly. And that's why you can see, once again, Anthem, they have established that comfortable lead once again on the overall storyboard. 2:31. Johnny, you've still got 10 more seconds on the clock, and it feels like Anthem, they're once again running away with the points control. Galaxia 5, they're trying their best to stop this flow of points, but it's next to impossible. 3 more seconds on the clock, and the next point's now going to pop up.
Well, let's see though, 2:33, they're very close to closing out this match, and Anthem still building on that control, moving on to the next hardpoint. Legacy spots out too, the double kill comes in, and it's going to be a big one for sure, but the players of Galaxy 5 looking to trade it out. And now the players of Anthem still hoping to close out this match as quickly as possible. 2:44, 2:45, it's almost there. Last 5 points needed. The equalizer comes out, but it's going to be shut down as well. Type 19 in the hands of Wiz, but can he pull off a wonderful multiple kill inside of this game? No, it's going to be down to the shotgun. 2:46, 1 more point gain. Closing out, struggling to close out this match. Man, Galaxia, they're trying their level best, but it's too late. 2:50, and then it is Anthem. They do manage to secure the win on this hard point on Summit.
At the start, it was super close. Galaxia 5, they made sure that they're at least going to be proactive and get those hardpoint control as soon as possible. But later on, Anthem realized what exactly Galaxia 5 was doing, and Anthem started to pull on the counter moves. And the counter was, Anthem instead started being proactive themselves, then letting the opponents have the control first. Yeah. And as that switch came through, that's where Galaxia 5 was not able to find any sort of counter to the players of Anthem. Galaxia 5, for some reason, it felt like they were lacking short a little bit when it comes to that team play and setting up those corners, setting each other up, having that proper communication, especially when you're holding those crossfires. That's something the players of Galaxia 5 needed. Checking the flanks, checking a few corners when you're approaching the hard point. That's something it felt like Galaxia 5 was lacking a little bit.
That is true, and I think for the side of Anthem, I think they were just better warmed up, man. Galaxia 5, things started to click extremely late inside of the game. Once Anthem was very close to that 100-point marker, Galaxia was stuck at the 90s. That is when they started to catch up for a bit, but then it was an instantaneous shutdown coming in from Anthem. They were able to close out the match, all thanks to the big advantage that they had for themselves. But when the game began, it was a little bit close to the first 15-20 seconds. I expected Galaxia 5 to give a tough fight to Anthem, but hey, Necro, it was just the first mode. It was just hardpoint. Next map is Tunisia, and we know that is definitely a place where Galaxia 5 can turn things around and take us all the way towards that decider.
I genuinely think you're wrong over there. We're still speaking of Anthem, Johnny, and usually in Search and Destroy Anthem, they are really tough to destroy because Anthem is known as one of the most tactical teams, right? They do not really have that good of firepower, but they do have a lot of brains, and that's something that really makes the players of Anthem outstand against the entire competition that currently is performing in the Snapdragon Season 6. Now, for Anthem, the only thing that can make them victorious is their tactical brains. Galaxia 5, if they do want to break the tacticalness off Anthem, well, I'm not sure what they need to do, but maybe you try and attack the mentals.
Oh, of course. I think that is something that they can try and do, but with how the players of Anthem are playing, I think even that's going to be difficult, because look at that. We have Wes with 48. We have Sinucci with 40 kills on the board. Starboy with 39. Sundance with 31. I think Legacy was lagging behind, but he got carried by his teammates. Who cares? Yeah. Other players, other 4 players were just absolutely phenomenal, just beating out every single individual on the side of Galaxia 5. So again, individual skill issue was there, but on Tunisia, since there are no respawns, you have an opportunity. If all of you, especially on that A side, what we've noticed, the choke points do work out in the favor of the defensive side team. So if Galaxia can make that work, if the snipers are on point today, then maybe they can turn things around, walk away with a win, and of course the decider is going to be exciting for sure.
Especially the flanks in Tunisia can be pretty deadly, and we have seen a lot of those times where Wanted, especially from a different team, I think so from Team Strike, he's always the one to wrap around all the way from the back lines and go for the flanks and just turn the tables instantly. So Tunisia is always one of those maps that can allow you to pull off those big moves, and that's why I think for Anthem, this on paper is supposed to be a 2-0. But still, if Galaxia has done their research properly, then maybe Anthem can still be countered.
Exactly. Playmaking potential is going to be there because of the map
Yeah.
and because of the team as well, what we've seen in the past as well. But it is going to be interesting to see. Let's not forget, Anthem, a few in the last play day of this challenge season, they were forced to play Tunisia twice, securing a win in both those maps. And again, it is going to be interesting to see. Anthem have had a lot of practice on this. All right, it's not Tunisia after all. It's Konohara Metropolis in front of us. But it doesn't matter. Even this map, I think, again, we have seen a lot of mid-pressure plays being built, but I believe the most success we have seen teams have on this map was just based off individual firepower, just players mowing down the attack on the defensive side single-handedly.
Konohara Metropolis, we have had a conversation about this map, right?
Yeah.
There's so many alleyways, there's so many of these corners that the players can try and hold, especially with the shotguns. The way I look at it is that one side is really exposed and the other side is completely boxy. So especially on that side, if you're on the defense, you can definitely go for the shotguns. And we have seen those shotguns prove out quite deadly as well. And a side that is super exposed, you can use the sniper on that. And we've seen the sniper as well find a lot of those values as well. Especially on this map, we've also seen so many insane plays happen, especially if you remember, Johnny, that one single quickscope that just blew our minds open.
Well, let's see, though. I mean, Anthem on defense, Galaxia on attack. A good spread coming in from the players of Galaxia, but it seems like Rogue has been spotted out, and Wiz Crosshair just plays, he's waiting for the peak. The battle spotted out again as well. Rogue goes for the peak, Wiz whiffs the spray. Information exchange between the two players, but the first kill is going to matter, but it's going to be Anthem not just finding one, but two frags on the map. Along with Rogue, it's going to be one more man disparity picked off. It was Legacy who found that kill, and Galaxia already not off to a great start.
Yeah, Wiz was the man who was able to find the first opener. Galaxia off the rib, just falling apart. Konohara Metropolis usually is one of those maps that requires the team synergy to be on point, and that's where Anthem is going to have the upper edge. And yes, Starboy's wall now, collecting that information, also getting that kill onto Luxjet. That was a big one too. And now just leaving these two players to try and stand off for themselves, and Skill Issue, he will mock him with his name.
Oh boy, I mean, as you mentioned, mocking him with the name, but Anthem again, I think the pressure was built off of those first two frags itself. Unless the players of Galaxy 5 brought divine intervention along with them, it was going to be very difficult for them to walk away with the win. Look at how perfect that utility coming from the players of Anthem is on the radar, but it's not going to matter. The first kill this time picked up by the players of Galaxia, and they're going to look for the second as well. He almost found it. Whips for the second, finally. The third time's the charm. Sundance is going to be shut down, and it's going to be Anthem this time feeling the pressure. Skill Issue, he finds that first frag for his team. The trade comes in. It's 3v3 situation, and the bomb has been planted.
Yeah, for some reason it feels like Disparity isn't really able to feel himself anymore. With two shots, which should have been an easy kill in the first place with that first shot itself, but still, Disparity not able to click on points. Now Skill Issue, once again, pulls out the pistol. He gets that quick kill as well on the man. And already, just like that, within a flash, the round's converted.
Another round in the favor of Anthem, even though it was Galaxia were off to a decent start this time around. Makes you wonder what could have happened had Disparity found that frag in the first shot itself. Not really wasting any time over there looking for the re-engagement, but let's see round number 3. This time Anthem, all 5 players moving towards the A side, and it seems like the read is perfect. Trades coming in, but Galaxia can't do anything about it. Too much pressure coming in from Anthem, and blink it and you miss it. This round is done and dusted. Man, that was quick.
This is a prime example of read like a book. Anthem, they knew what was going to happen. They already knew that the players of Galaxia 5 are now going to try to step in towards that A side. They had the snipers primed, yes, but still for some reason, Disparity was able to find the first pick, but even that did not matter because Anthem's counter push was already there.
Oh boy, I mean, mind readers on the side of Anthem knew exactly, as you mentioned, read like a book. And I think those are the plays that break the morale of a team, Necro. When you try a cheeky strat and it gets completely countered. Look at this one as well. Mob's already shut down. Disparity spotted out. Somehow managed to survive. Wiz a little hesitant on that duel. Finally goes for the second, but it's gonna be skill issue and Wiz shut down. So Galaxia now have the advantage to work with. Rogue! Oh no! Should have been moving with his guns out, but was a little bit unarmed, so he does get picked off. Anthem down to their last player. It's a 1v2 situation, so difficult for Starboy to make a comeback in this round, though.
Just one man standing, as you mentioned. Still, it's a 1-on-2, Johnny, and we have seen a lot of these types of scenarios converted with ease. Even the bombs being planted, Disparity's position with that should be exposed. And yes, he even knows exactly where Starboy is. We should see the reposition as well from the side of Galaxia 5 now come through. And you can see the crossfire being held as well. Starboy, the man needs to reroute. Is he going to find the flank? That's my question. But still, footsteps are something that's being heard. And Drago, he wins that duel.
Oh man, Drago checking his back at the right nick of time, because otherwise he was also watching the same angle as Disparity. But at least Galaxia, they get themselves on the board somehow. It's 3-1. It's just the first half. Let's see this time building up pressure on towards that B side. And Anthem, they're getting a little too aggressive with how they're trying to position themselves. Look at that. Look at the map.
The nade was perfect, Johnny.
Yeah.
Already finding that first pick. Drago's down and dusted. And now once again, Galaxia 5. Rogue, how were you able to win that duel? Skillisha and Starboy FK, they've still got the site under control, and the B site's on a complete lockdown. Even the bombs drop now. What can one single man do? Lukshay is supposed to be the sniper for his team, but Lukshay is now getting peppered from all the different directions, and Skillisha is going to find that perfect connection.
Oh man, this is getting more and more intense by the second. What an impressive lockdown by Skill Issue and Starboy over there. Run towards that A side, and especially Starboy. Such an aggressive position, but took down 2 players. Especially that bomb being dropped and the last man stuck in a corner, stuck in a crossfire between the 2 lads. Absolutely no escape for the players of Galaxia, but this time, look at that. All of them moving through the center, moving towards that A side. There's going to be Wiz waiting for them on the other side.
But remember, Johnny, I told you, Anthem, they're quite the tactical bunch.
Yeah.
Beating them in Search and Destroy is going to be really tough. Only some of the top teams can easily do it, like Accelerate, maybe, or even Godlike. But yeah, to beat Anthem, especially when you're Galaxia 5 or any other team, will be really tough. You need to come up with proper research, and it feels like Galaxia 5, they're definitely lacking on that research. That pixel angle was found, but unfortunately, no conversions came through. Disparity's position is also known now. Lukshay, even he goes for that scope. He's able to find one, but just that one single pick is not going to be enough to convert the round. They still need to find a few more, and they eventually do.
All right. Another one on the board. 4-2. Galaxia somehow securing that win. Wiz off to a great start in that round, but there's the switch. Now Anthem on attack, Galaxia on defense. And I think maybe this was the moment that Anthem were waiting for. Look at this. Galaxia, a call being made. A 5-man push from that B side, but there's no one there. Anthem, it's a 5-player rush towards A.
All the boys moving in tandem. Galaxia 5, they realized how you can counter the players of Anthem. But considering the sides are now switched, Anthem, you can see they're so quick and clever. They've already found the side control. They're already going for the plan as well, Johnny, and it feels like the players of Galaxia 5, they're completely lost. They do not even know what's going on in the map. Everyone was towards the opposite side, which was the B site.
Yeah.
And no one knew the A site's already taken over. But still, this is where Galaxia 5 can also have a little bit of that pinch hold on the players of Anthem if they have the information. And that's the main issue. They do not have the correct info. There's still one man holding the cross, but unfortunately, even he gets picked off. Anthem now, it feels like they're going to fall on top of their faces. 2 more players to go, and Galaxia 5, they're winning every single duel they're taking.
Oh man. Galaxia, what a brilliant retake. I expected Anthem to walk away with a round win this time, considering how quick they were in getting the bomb down, getting the bomb plant, and they had complete control of the site itself. But Galaxia with a 5-man retake, brilliantly executed. Let's see, 4-3, Galaxia closing the distance, and now maybe the players of Anthem are starting to feel some pressure upon themselves. Utility exchange down mid. Nothing connects though. And Anthem now slowing things down and making this push.
Patience is the key. And that's why Anthem is trying to pull. They're waiting for the opponents to make a rookie mistake, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. Galaxia 5 in the first half, they have learned their lessons, the amount of mistakes they made, and now they do not want to replicate the same thing once again. But playing it too passive can also limit your own info. And that's where Galaxia 5 can be caught off guard. Oh, this could have been so close. I thought Legacy's going to get caught, but he didn't. The timing was just milliseconds off. Skill issue 2. He's waiting for the right moment to strike. Anthem slowly and steadily gaining the map control. As Marbs, he does find a little bit of that pixel spot. The information is now accumulated and given to his teammate. Marbs finds one. He's looking to back away from this spot, and that's brilliant. It's a daylight robbery.
Yeah, it's going to be the Danger Man. Legacy picked off as well, and it's going to be Rogue and Mobs put together that completely shut down the side of Anthem Necro. Now, this is a surprise. I did not expect Anthem to struggle this much in the second half. They haven't even found a single kill in this round. Just lost 2 players left in a 2v5. Sundance somehow shuts down Drago, but that's definitely not going to be enough. And look at the map as well. They are going to get pushed from the back as well.
The only way Anthem can be beaten is by firepower, and that's what Galaxia 5 has realized. The way Galaxia 5 is able to win those duels are completely behalf on the timing and firepower. And for Anthem, they're not able to find any sort of reply, and this is exactly what I'm saying. The only way you can beat Anthem is by firepower and timing, and that's what Galaxia 5 is able to find, Johnny.
Well, let's see, 4-4, the score equalized now. And Galaxia, I think intentions are clear. 3 more rounds, you get to take it to the decider. Once again, a 5-man push coming in from the players of Anthem for that A site. This time though, Galaxia, they've sent 2 players up ahead, and Lakshay, oh no, Legacy finding that first frag. Could make for a difficult retake for Galaxia, but with that mid control, they could try to make a few plays happen. It's not going to work out. Anthem, it seems like, backs against the wall, and Anthem stands tall. 4 versus 2. They have the numbers advantage to work with, but can Mobs and Drago make this miraculous retake happen?
A 2-on-3, Anthem with the man advantage. Galaxia can still do have the firepower, and that's something Galaxia would definitely try to rely on. Type 19 in the hands of Drago, and the man's already finding some visual on towards the site. Wiz's position is also compromised, but it's a bait, because Marbs was wrapping all the way from the back, and that's brilliant. But even Marbs gets traded instantly. Skill issue is able to find that trade. And yes, Drago slides into his crosser. But I love that from Galaxia 5, Johnny. What a bait that was.
Yeah, it was intense. And as you mentioned, the bait definitely could have made things a lot more troublesome for the side of Anthem over there. But still, 1 versus 2 situation towards the end, and especially if the player has been spotted out, becomes very difficult to actually pull off that retake. Look at the amount of utility lobbed in Wiz's face. He runs back. Somehow does manage to survive. Too much pressure towards B, and Anthem, the switch comes through. They are moving towards the A side. Disparity with an aggressive position. Fails to find the opening frag. Gets shut down, and now finally Galaxia again trying to move towards B. And look at that. They're rotating wide, trying to reach and go for a retake all the way from that attacker's spawn.
Flank is being found, but I'm pretty sure Anthem, they're anticipating this. There's no way they don't check the flank, right?
Yeah.
And yes, that's what happens. Flank gets cleared completely, both the players taken down, and now the game-winning play that Galaxia 5 is relying on has completely been shattered. But Sundance, the man is now just staring at the wall, and Sundance gets taken down eventually. Starboy is there to save the day for his team, and Marbs is taken down way too low while he was fighting Starboy, and that's how the players of Anthem, they do secure another round.
Just a step closer to securing the series win as well. 6-4, Anthem. And they close it out right here, right now. Galaxia 5 in situations like this is when they get extremely deadly. Let's see this time a little bit of split. Rogue finds the first kill of the round, but the trade from Anthem comes through. Still it's going to be Galaxia sitting there with the numbers advantage, and Wiz just pushes forward. Sundance shut down. 3 versus 3 numbers equalize. They have control of the side as well, but Drago shutting down Wiz. Legacy with a trade on Lakshya. Man, what could be the last round of this series is turning out to be an intense one for sure, Necro.
It indeed is. Drago and the boys. It's a 2-on-2. Anthem and Galaxia. Anthem on the verge of winning. They've got the match point. And Galaxia fighting for their life. Anthem with this post plant. They're definitely looking much more comfortable as they're able to find the first. And now Anthem is just waiting to put that nail in the coffin, which will be done by Legacy. And just like that, Anthem, they make it a quick duo against Galaxia 5, but still in search and destroy. What a competition it was.
Yeah, I mean, this was an intense match for sure, especially the search and destroy. But hey, Necro, we predicted this at the start of the day itself when we had the matchups in front of us, right? Anthem, they were the stronger ones on paper, and they proved they are going to be stronger inside of the game as well, closing out the series 2-0. But props to Galaxia, man. Those mid-rounds that we saw from them where the scorelines got equalized, especially in that second half, that was something else. I did not expect Galaxia to step up in that particular way, but it seems like even they had their limit, right? And Anthem was able to just outperform them after they saw exactly what Galaxia were capable of.
And some of the plays and reads that we saw were incredible, especially one of those bait plays, right? Where Marv's peeked out a little bit of his shoulder, and both the players were completely distracted towards Marv, and then one man was wrapping up all the way from the back lines. Yes, they were not able to win the round, but still, man, it's quite brilliant to see set plays like those. And then even a complete read that we saw from the side of Anthem when they were on the defense, they pushed in towards the long, they got the entirety off the opponent team completely shattered instantly, and Galaxia 5, they were left with no answers.
Well, I mean, yeah, no answers indeed. But I think, again, a lot expected from Disparity. He delivered. Mobs as well. He was there in those rounds where we saw Galaxia make a comeback as well, but then it was just a complete shutdown coming in.
Especially with the way things kicked off in Search and Destroy. Now, let's be honest, we all knew that Anthem is automatically going to have the upper edge no matter what. Anthem is supposed to be the one to come through victorious. But still, the only way Galaxia 5 could have actually taken down the players of Anthem was by firepower, and that timing some of the times they were able to find. And that's how they were able to pull off a little bit of that comeback where we saw the neutralizer in the scoreboard too. It was a 4-on-4 scoreline.
Yeah.
The only way Galaxia 5 would have been able to extend this entire series to a 3-mapper, it would have been by winning the hard point. Unfortunately, they were not able to do so because Anthem, once again, pulling out those big brain moves and shocking the players of Galaxia 5. And Galaxia 5, as I mentioned, left with no answers.
Yeah, again, I mean, Summit could have been a much closer one between the two sides, but unfortunately it did not work out. Initially, Galaxia 5 started off strong, and then there was a fall off. By the time they, again, started to make a comeback, it was too late. Anthem had a big lead to work with, and as you mentioned, I completely agree with that. Had they walked away with a win on Summit, maybe we could have seen the decider right now, but hey, all of that is in the past now. It's done and dusted. Galaxia 5 already not doing so great on the overall leaderboard. They had started off their journey of the challenge season with a loss, and now this is going to be their second loss. Again, all teams get 4 matches only. So Galaxia 5, just like their counterparts in the form of Strike, can't really afford to lose even a single match from here on out. And even then, if they win both their next games, even then it's going to be up for a toss where they make it through to the challenge finals or not.
And let's be honest, Johnny, Galaxia 5 is going to be playing the upcoming game as well. And what are the odds that Galaxia 5 is going to be the one to come through victorious? Once again, they're facing off against some of the stronger foes. And for Galaxia 5 already being put in such a bad mental state, it's going to be tough to recover.
It is going to be tough to recover, but it's against Strike. So at least still, there is going to be hope. Strike as well not doing so well as far as they're standing in the group ranking is considered. So Strike is under pressure, Galaxia 5 is under pressure, and now whoever loses the next match, basically we're going to have our first elimination today. Think about it this way,
I mean,
right?
For Team Strike, they have tried to prove themselves, especially when we saw them in the open finals in the lower bracket. Strike was doing really good. They shattered through one of their opponents that they were playing, and as they moved on forward towards the challenge season, Team Strike started to struggle really.
Yeah.
But for Galaxia 5, with the way they were playing, especially against Team Anthem, if they play even a little bit a similar way with the way they were playing against Anthem, there's a big chance they can actually shatter the players of Team Strike. But hey, what's going to happen in the future? That's up to the future. For now, it's our time to push to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
greatness. That's what I align with, cause the journey I've been climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came for the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
You waited all night for me to come back. Why'd you think that it's not alright? Told you that I'm not that type. Didn't mean to get you so excited. Tried to tell you not to fall in love. Why you always hit me uninvited? Was hoping you would get the picture. I've had enough. Now it's time for me to turn around. Thought you knew what this was. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have felt for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back the one heart. Call it a savage love. Just when I had enough of us. I'm good, babe. I'm on my own. This ain't a phase. Just let me go. Told you that I'm not that type. Don't wanna waste any ride. Begging for one more chance. Yeah, know you got carried away. Ooh, you made me to say it. Even messing with greatness, space is stay in your place. I was stuck in a place, then you got in the way. All the love we made got me stuck in the brain. Got no time to stay here and say goodbye. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have felt for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back one heart. Call it a savage love. Just till I had enough of us. Take back your heart. Yeah.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Welcome back after that short break to Snapdragon Pro Series Call of Duty Mobile. It's going to be me on the desk right next to Super Johnny. And Johnny, after witnessing that first game, it feels like the layout is now set for the upcoming one. Strike versus Galaxia 5 for Strike. They have been struggling. Galaxia 5, nothing less. But still, what we saw in the lower bracket, for some reason, my heart really goes with Galaxia 5 this time.
Yeah, I mean, especially how we saw them play out on that mode of S&D previously. It was interesting. It got a little intense, especially down in the middle. And of course, I mean, getting that equalizer against the side of Anthem now, there's a little bit of hope from Galaxia 5. But again, Necro, both these teams are struggling, so we don't really know what the result is going to be. Like, it could be a close affair between the two sides, or it could be extremely one-sided. Can go any way, because again, both the teams still struggling. Whoever loses this faces elimination instantly, because that's going to be the third loss on the board.
But that's the crazy part, right? Both these teams have not failed to surprise us. Galaxia 5, once in that lower bracket, they completely took down a team one-sided. And then even moving on towards Team Strike when they faced off against Team Fate, even that was quite a one-sided game. So nothing can be said just yet. Team Strike's lineup is on the screen. Levi, Vibe, Lamed, Nats, and you've also got Rian. And we have seen all these boys play for such a long time in Team Strike, and sometimes for some reason it feels like they're just not clicking that well.
Yeah, that is quite true. And Rian, although I have to say, has been very impressive from the side of Strike. And again, the other players also need to start stepping up, and they do every now and then, but it's not been enough so far. And it is going to be interesting to see how they now take on Galaxia 5 today. This is that one game that both these teams are going to try to win, at least before they play their last match of the challenge season, because at least with a 50-50 win, 50-50 on the win-loss counter, you still have an opportunity to try and qualify. The probability will still be there, but if there are 3 losses on the board, then again, you are already out. But again, we've seen these lads in action just a few moments ago. Rogue, Disparity, Drago, Mobs, and Lakshya. And again, I believe going up against Anthem should be a good warm-up for Galaxia, so they are going to be feeling the heat already. So let's see if Strike can get warmed up as quickly as Galaxia.
I wouldn't exactly say it's a warm-up. I would say it was a wake-up call for the players of Galaxia 5. If they do not perform in this game, well then, they're done for. They're pretty much going to be kicked out from this tournament, and for them to move on towards DreamHack, the chances will be next to none. While the same thing can be said for Team Strike as well. Before Team Strike, I feel a little bit bad, because in the future, they're also going to be facing off against Accelerate, and we all know what the outcome might just be.
Yeah, I mean, we all know what the outcome is going to be. Accelerate is too fast. They accelerate 0 to 100 in just a few seconds. And again, that team is just raw firepower, man. Tactics, it's like the anti-Anthem if you think about it, Accelerate, right? No tactic, it's just raw firepower, and the skill cap in that team is so high that it becomes, that pressure itself becomes too difficult to deal with, like on an individual level. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matchup fares out. But before that map veto for this one, we have Hardpoint on Standoff, picked by Strike. This could actually go Strike's way today. Search and Destroy and Firing Range, Galaxy 5 standard maps up until we reach Control on Seaside, which is going to be interesting. I think that is going to be the most off pick of this entire veto. But yeah, I think we're going to go to the Decider Necro looking at the veto.
Yeah, a year ago, Seaside was supposed to be one of the classic picks, but now, considering not a lot of players love to play on Seaside, so yes, it is one of the rare picks. But Standoff as well, I would say it's a little bit of a shaky choice from the side of Team Strike. Considering Firing Range was a pick from the side of Galaxia 5, they're sticking to the basics. They're not really leaving that comfort zone. While you move on towards Team Strike, I'm not exactly sure they're going to be that comfortable with Standoff, but considering it's a map that's been around for such a long time, maybe Team Strike has prepared something that's going to catch the players of Galaxia 5 a little bit off guard.
I think it's all down to that P1 choke point, man. You try and breach through the apartments, you try and breach through the open door, and if Strike have that right-hand side spawn, then maybe they are going to be the ones controlling the early game. And again, it is about momentum, Hardpoint itself. If Strike can have the momentum going in their favor in the early stages, they build a lead big enough to work with 50-60 points head start against the players of Galaxia, then maybe Galaxia are going to crumble under that pressure. Could be a strategy Strike are thinking of right now. And as you mentioned as well, this is a map that's been there for a very long time, so it does allow Strike to come up with those one-off plays just to try and take on Galaxia. But let's see how it's going to turn out. I mean, inside of the game, it's going to be a completely different deal between these two sides.
Yeah, and Standoff is one of those OG maps, as I mentioned, right? So I really hope that Strike has pulled something up.
Yeah.
Especially if you try and look at the way Felines plays it. Dope in Peace is the man who holds those choke points with the shotguns. And especially Standoff is quite a boxy map where we know there's going to be those hard points popping up in those square areas. And you can just easily hold on the intro points of these squares. And you can easily shut down the opponents with those shotguns. And maybe that's something Team Strike is looking to pull off. But over here, I do not see any sort of shotguns being pulled out from Team Strike, so that means they're going for a complete raw approach.
Well, let's see though, as you mentioned, raw approach, but the early control in the hands of Strike, and they are starting to get those points for themselves. And Galaxia, a little bit of a struggle to try and find those kills in the early stage was Rogue and Drago. They step up, but it's gonna be Rian with the Predator missile, the instant shutdown. And before Galaxia find a little bit of breathing room inside of the hard point, they get taken out. Rogue somehow
Oh my
to
God,
fight
Rogue.
for a few extra seconds, buying so much time for his team, and it is gonna be an important one as well. Drago now needs to convert, but the free fires around the corner not really working out, and it is still Strike in the lead, even though it's just a very small advantage that they have to work with.
It is quite back and forth, Johnny. Still, it's tough to say it's going to be the one to be in the lead before now. Team Strike, they've definitely snatched it away from Galaxia 5. And both these teams are not backing away from snatching away from each other, but from Team Strike, with the way they were playing, the trades were much more quicker compared to the players of Galaxia. But here comes another quick and a proactive approach from Galaxia 5. They already move in towards the next hard point. They've already got the choke points covered up as well, and they're going to make sure that Team Strike is going to have no way of moving in towards this hard point.
Well, let's see though. This is going to be time to switch up to P2, and it's going to be Strike again in the driving seat. Oh no, he misses the opportunity to take down both of them. And it's going to be the numbers advantage by the players of Galaxia that works out for them. RPT's 2 on the outside, takes down 1, but gets caught in the crossfire and will be shut down. The Annihilator in the hands of Rian can be a big problem for the players of Galaxia to deal with. And this P2, man, the choke points, the crossfires that you are able to set up are very difficult for the opposing side to deal with. And Strike definitely utilizing that for the advantage. Even if Galaxia have control of the hard point, Strike just made sure that they stick around long enough to not allow Galaxia to take a step forward and get an advantage in this game.
I did not really expect this sort of a start to this game, right? Galaxia 5 struggling to gain the hard points, while the players of Team Strike constantly winning those duels and taking down the players of Galaxia 5. Team Strike, we knew they do have a strong firepower, but still, with the way they're able to convert the firepower into an advantage, now that's quite nice and that's insane. Galaxia 5, they still do snatch away the next hard point control, and that's a great thing considering they just have 50 more seconds in their hands to try and minimize the lead, and they've already done so. Galaxia 5, now they're starting to run away with so many kills. Look at the kill feed too, Johnny. Galaxia 5, with the way they're able to position themselves on off angles, Team Strike is getting caught off guard completely.
Yeah, P3 conversion in Galaxia. They have gotten themselves in the lead again. Here comes out the Sparrow in the hands of Drago. Needs to find the kill, finds it as well. Looking for the second, misses the man indoors. Gets shot in the back, and the Sparrow is going to be out of the picture. A big skill, a big operator skill. Taken out Lakshya. What is this? Just thrown inside of the window. Still fails to find that kill, and Rian moves in. This man is danger. He's built different, but Rian also getting shut down. Completely ignores his back, and it's going to be Galaxia once again in the driving seat. 6 seconds, 5 seconds before the next hard point comes live, and this time it is going to be Strike who get there first.
Strike is once again pretty quicker, as they knew that, okay, Galaxia 5, they've got the previous hard point completely on lockdown, so Strike, they already move in towards the upcoming ones, and now Team Strike is going to be looking forward to hand out the equalizer. 68-42, Team Strike is running away with a little bit of that hard point control, but a Purifier in the hands of Reaper. He's still not done any sort of damage with that Purifier, by the way. He's just holding down the choke point. He's just holding down the entrance, and he's waiting for the players of Galaxia 5 to walk in as he burns them alive.
Well, let's see though. Galaxia still have a slight advantage to work with. 68-60. And Strike, oh no, complete control of this hard point. Disparity moves in, cleans it up quite nicely with that Odin. And now the players, oh no, what was that?
Oh my god.
My
Gravity
god.
Vortex gun, the operator skills as well now starting to being utilized. And Lukshay, what a beautiful way that was to strike down a few more players. And this is exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what standoff is made of. Even if you do use shotguns in the close quarters, it's next to impossible to breach in towards the hard point. And even if you're using War Machine, that constant splash damage, it's really going to hold you off from moving towards those doorways.
It wasn't free fire, man. It was a free fire at the door, and they just walked right into that one strike. That was just unlucky. And now Galaxia building up their pressure. We are back again on that P1, and this time it is going to be Galaxia who make their way. Strike with a brilliant retake, have a little bit of pressure. The nades come in, the pressure being built. The players of Strike falling left and right as Mobs finds those trades. Levi and Alpha are going to be picked off. Lukshay finds the third, and there it is. The hard point is going to be cleaned up, but Rian chimes in, finds the 2 frag, but it's going to be still Galaxia in the driving seat of this match. 101, and the equalizer comes out. He's going to try and make sure that the players from Strike are taken out, even if they get, before they get anywhere close to that hard point. Succeeds for a few seconds, and the pressure from Galaxia Necro with every single second, it's getting more and more intense.
Solid stuff, DRH in the hands of this man, and he's still able to find so much value. Even Disparity's able to get a lot done on the kill feed, but Reaper's able to find a 2-piece back-to-back, and that's going to be something that will give the control back in their hands. But here comes the proactive control once again from the side of Team Strike. They have given away the previous hard point and already moved away towards the upcoming hard point, and maybe now Galaxia 5, they might just struggle to gain it back in their hands.
Well, let's see though. 119 to 89, Strike slowly and steadily. A comeback has been initiated, and as you mentioned, Galaxia 5, it seems like composure has been lost for a few seconds, though they recover quite nicely. It's going to be Rian once again in the picture, takes one out on the other side, tries to move in, can be caught in the crossfire, and exactly what I said, just completely ignores the man towards his left. Gets taken out, 133 to 19. Galaxia not really letting go of the advantage that they have in their hands.
Galaxia 5 is now starting to put up a decent lead, Johnny, 134 to just 90. And for the players of Team Strike, something needs to be done. They need to buckle up right now, because if Galaxia 5, they keep on running away with the same lead and the same momentum towards the hard point, it's going to be next to impossible to snatch it back in their hands. And once again, as soon as Galaxia 5, they do find the control, all they're doing is just taking care of the entrances.
Well, exactly. I mean, blocking out the entrances quite aggressively. Mobs finds a brilliant backstab. Rian is there on the other side looking for a duel, but it's a struggle between the two players. And now somehow the players of Strike do make sure that they get to the next hard point before the players of Galaxia. But this early control, how much conversion can they gain from this? Especially considering there are still a few operator skills available for the side of Galaxia. Strike do have an opportunity to try and retaliate by using the same Reaper. He's already utilized this. But it is going to be Galaxia now looking to build up some pressure. 114, Strike able to cross that 100-point marker finally.
That's a great thing. 150 to 121. That's a good thing. Strike, they're able to run away with so many eliminations now on the elimination feed. And just look at the way Strike is able to win the duels as well. It feels like Galaxia 5, they're not able to stand a chance to snatch it back in their hands. And Galaxia 5 is just stuck on 150. And for some reason, it feels like Galaxia 5, they've got no intention of taking it away anyways from the side of Team Strike, because Galaxia 5, they're already hovering towards the next hard point.
Yeah, they get there first, and now it's going to be down to Mob. See if he can cut off the rotations coming in from the side of Strike, and look at that! The entrance is going to be blocked. Strike wiped clean from the map, and this will give that early control to the players of Galaxia 5, but they need to hold on to this for their dear lives, because Strike have managed to close in the difference by a big chunk. It's 154 to 143, and a single mistake, and Strike will turn things around. The numbers advantage still in the players, still in the hands of Strike, and they move in. The Annihilator comes through. Rian finds a few important frags. Lukshay out of the picture, and now it's going to be Disparity looking for that kill. Finds it one way or the other, but Strike still inside of that hard point. Galaxia with a brilliant retake, but they need to hold on to this for as long as possible. Strike are getting very close in terms of making that comeback. Rogue! That spray! It changes everything! A few extra seconds fought by Galaxia.
Oh, the Fnac is now starting to reply back to the players of Team Strike. 180 now pretty much on the board for Galaxia 5, and it's not going to be next to impossible. They easily do get 180 points in their hands, and it just keeps on counting on forward. The next hard point is also going to pop up within a few seconds, and that's where Team Strike is repositioning to. They know exactly what to do now. just hold on the entrances, and Team Strike can easily get the equalizer on the scoreboard. But still, Galaxia 5, with the way they were able to hand out the previous retake, now Galaxia should have a little bit of that confidence and that stubborn nature returning back, and that's exactly what happens. Claw invested from Disparity, and it's able to find so much value, pretty much clears out the entire hard point, and the Claw is constantly pre-firing around the corner as well. Still, the players of Team Strike looking to snatch back a few more things from the side of Galaxia 5, and they actually do so as well with these.
Well, they are making it look easy. It's not easy right now. 209, 161. Strike somehow managed to move in for that hard point, but they're going to be picked off. And Galaxia, I think, winning this hard point sets them for success. Now, all they have to do next is secure the win on firing range, and not a long way to go before they secure a win onto this hard point as well. But Alpha takes down 2, and that's going to be a little bit more breathing room available to the players of Strike. Can Galaxia close out this match while they still have a chance? It's a big question that we are still looking for an answer to.
Strike's not till 878 or 216. It's not that far away, Johnny. It's still doable, in my opinion. If Team Strike do pull out the upcoming investments, then maybe the upcoming round can easily be in the hands of Team Strike. And Galaxia, they do not really have a lot of those operator skills anyways online, but that's where Team Strike can have the upper edge. Rogue has already pulled out his, and even the Gravity Vortex gun from the side of Luxay is able to find so much value. A nice 3-piece on the board itself, and Luxay, now the man's looking unstoppable, but Team Strike, once again, you blink it and you miss it. Already on the kill feed, it's Team Strike all across the board. Heavy investments are already being pulled out from the side of Galaxia 5, as the man was also pulling out the Sparrow, but he was not able to find the ideal value that he's supposed to. And Team Strike, they've already got the next hardpoint control. Annihilator pulled out, but that Annihilator is completely disassembled.
Man, Luxay, this man is insane now. As soon as Galaxia lose some pressure, Luxay just moves in for even a split second. If Strike lose control of this hard point, Galaxia just inches closer to the win. Look at this, just 11 points left. Rogue moves in, finds a kill. 8 more seconds of control given to Galaxia, and that is quite a lot, Necro, because look at this, 245, 246, 247, and now 248, just 2 points away from securing the win. They might not have any score streaks or any operator skills remaining, but if all 5 of these players move in together, they still walk away and secure the win. This is going to be an intense one for sure. Strike in the driving seat, but they have been cleaned up for that hard point. Finally, Strike regained that control after moving out for a few extra seconds, but now the utility coming in from the side of Galaxia can help them close out this game. Disparity finds a frag, Rion shut down. Just 2 points needed. Man, this is very close.
And it feels like Galaxia, they're going to let the players of Team Strike have this hard point, maybe, but no. Here comes the counter push, and just like that, within a flash, Galaxia, they get this hard point control within the final few seconds, and they already secure the victory on this hard point. But Johnny, I'm not going to lie, Team Strike, they have definitely pulled off a big surprise. With the way they were playing, it was so back and forth. For a second, you would say that, okay, Galaxia 5, they've got the hard point control, but then the next second, it was back in the hands of Team Strike.
It was, and Strike were impressive during a few moments of this game, Necro, but let's not forget, they have just gone ahead and lost their own mapping. Yeah, that's going to spell a lot of trouble once we move to the next mode.
But that's been the meta, right? Usually a team picks a map and they lose it, and then they win on the opposition picks. So you never know. Maybe Search and Destroy, Strike can be the one to dominate. But let's be honest, Johnny, especially off the rip with the way Strike was playing, it really felt like Strike was the dominant one.
That is true.
They were able to win so many duels, and for some reason, Galaxia 5 was not able to find any replies. Strike, they had a proper playing structure planned out in their head, and this is what I was saying too, right? Especially when you're playing on standoff, you need to have a proper play set or set plays in your mind, because all you need to do is just block off the entrances, and that's what the players of Team Strike pretty much were trying to do, and sometimes they were quite successful as well. But then later on, that's what the opponents realized as well, and that's what they started to do. All they were doing was just guard the entrance.
Yeah, and man, especially from the side of Galaxia, I think the man who was most impressive in those clutch moments, especially in the later half of this matchup, was Luxay. Luxay was absolutely phenomenal. Yes, he did miss out on a lot of kills during the early stage, but late rounds, the man was on fire, especially during that P3, P4 transition. It was very impressive. A man who was ever so consistent from the side of Galaxia 5, Disparity. This man needs a shout out. What an amazing performance in this game, and Mobs as well.
Yeah, Disparity's like the sniper for this team, right? But still, he was able to get so much value converted. And as you mentioned, Lakshay, with that Gravity Vortex gun, man, this guy was an absolute menace towards that one point where all you need to do is just hold those 2 entrance points. And this man was constantly spamming that Gravity Vortex gun on that entrance. As you move on towards the entire stat board, you will clearly see Rogue from the side of G5 at the top with 48. And then you will see Rian from Team Strike with 45. Now for Team Strike, as I mentioned, it was quite a valiant effort, but Galaxia 5, they were just better today.
Yeah, they were better, man. And now this gives me a lot of hope for the next search and destroy, considering, as you mentioned, it is on firing range, a standard map. There is an opportunity for Strike to make a comeback, but Galaxia 5, if these lads, if Rogue, if Mobs, Disparity, on individual level, if these lads start to perform, then it's going to be very difficult for Strike to actually make a comeback in the series, man. It's going to be a quick 2-0.
You said all those names fine, but if Lakshay starts to perform, man, we have seen once in the past Galaxia 5 almost taking a super neck-to-neck against some of the teams, and all thanks to Lakshay. This man was getting multi-kills after multi-kills with his Tundra. If he's on that sniper, especially on this map itself, he needs to be stopped. And Lakshay was popping off on the same map, by the way.
And the one man on the other side who we have a lot of expectations from the side of Strike is Rian, to be honest. And Rian, again, very impressive in that first game. He is impressive in all of the matches that we've seen in the past as well. But the other lads, Levi, a lot of expectations from him, but has struggled to stand up so far. And again, 2 players alone cannot really secure the win. A lot of pressure coming in from mid right off the bat from the side of Strike. Oh no, he's stuck in a corner now.
Oh, well, off the rip, you see a few things happening, and it's quite quick to the point where the observers are not even able to capture the action. What's going on, Johnny? We move on to a player, and the player's already disappearing from the server. But hold on. Maybe we do have a little bit of that glimmer of hope still left alive on the side of Team Strike. Galaxia 5, as they push in tandem, Team Strike was not able to find any sort of replies. A quick scope, and the man's already taken down, put to sleep. Up close and personal, the first shot came through, but not the connection.
Oh man, that was a quick work from the side of Galaxia. A 1-0 start, and Strike not really able to strike anything in that first initial run on that attack. Let's see though, Lakshay. As you mentioned, Necro. Of course, he's gonna be the danger man in this mode. That Tundra looking to go big. Oh, Rogue, he needs to get that double. Gets one, gets the second as well, and that is the complete shutdown right then and there. Alpha moves in.
Too easy.
Yeah, he's making it easy, man.
Really easy. Here we go. Reaper as well. He had a little bit of that off angle, so was able to capitalize pretty well. 3-on-3 on the board. And Galaxia 5, once again, they gain the man advantage. Now they know exactly where Reaper is positioned too. A few footsteps heard approaching. And Draco, he wins that duel. And just like that, you snap your fingers and you've got the victor.
Once again, it is going to be Galaxia. And this time it was Rogues, man. Rogue, who just went absolutely brilliant, finding those first 2 initial kills. There, I think that itself was enough for the side of Galaxia to just continue to build on pressure and secure the win on that round. Again, it's going to be a lot of heavy investment towards that B side coming in from the side of Strike. They have 3 players moving in.
Quick pushes, man. And yes, this is what happens. Snipers there to welcome these players. Disparity was able to find a nice opener. And already the wrap-up has been stopped. That's a great thing from Reaper, but his teammates are already destroyed on towards the site. What are you going to do just by finding the player on the flank when your team's push is already compromised? There's not a lot you can do in that scenario. Disparity as well up close and personal. Switches on over towards the pistol. Spamming through 20 bullets in the magazine, by the way. A beautiful nade. That's going to chip the player up a little bit. And nicely done by Disparity. And even Lakshay pulls up from the back, and that's going to be the deal sealer, the nail in the coffin that Galaxia was looking for. Johnny, we thought that maybe Team Strike can be the one to sort of have a little bit of the upper edge and search and destroy. Considering Team Strike, they've got the firepower. They need to try and take down the players of Galaxia 5. But Galaxia 5, they know exactly what Strike is pulling up.
A quick 3-0 start for the side of Galaxia, but this time it's going to be Strike finding that first frag as Rogue gets picked off. Look at that. Lakshya is the only defender towards that A side. Needs to find the trade one way or the other. Lakshya is going to be spotted out. And this time, Strike, they've been given control of this A side. This could be very risky. Ooh, somehow managed to survive. Needs to fall back. There's the shutdown as Mobs goes down. And this could be the initial round on the board for the side of Strike. They have the numbers advantage to work with.
A little bit scared. Disparity. He's moving away too up close and personal with this. No! What is Levi doing? There's no way! Levi, the man was busy staring out the window. It could have been a big surprise right next to him, but unfortunately, Disparity, he whiffs that quick scope. Disparity should have taken his time, man. Line up the shot, take it nicely, but for some reason, the man wanted to go for the highlight play.
Completely agreed, man. No need to go for a quick scope over there. Just whiffs it completely. Gets shot in the face. But this time, Galaxia, they learn from their mistakes. They send a lot of players towards that A side and Mobs. They're going to try and find those frags, but the numbers are going to be traded out equally. It's a 3v3 situation now. A bloodbath happening inside of that container. Oh, and the backstab from Rogue is brilliant. He finds the advantage, and now maybe the struggle is going to be there from the side of Strike as the man with the bomb is going to be pinned on that site, although the trade comes through. And Levi with that flank as well can change everything if he shuts down Rogue.
But still, Lakshya is alive, Johnny. And this man with the sniper has proved himself time and time in the past as well. Lakshya once again all the way in the back lines towards his favorite spot. And he's now going to try to hold this cross. A few shots taken, revealing his position. And maybe he thinks that the boys are moving towards the B site. But he's got no clue that A site's going to be taken. But the players towards A. Lakshya's position spotted. And he gets stabbed in the back. I'm not exactly sure what Lakshya was doing there, but he should have realized this thing.
But brilliantly done from the side of Strike. 2 rounds on the board if they can win this one as well. Gets them the equalizer. Oh, but the utility goes in, damage dished out. Spam shots from Lakshya. To see if he can get someone on the other side of that wall. But now they have the information to work with. Galaxia, how do they react? They have a backstab set up with Rogue looking to move in. Drago looking to move in. Try and surprise the players of Strike, but Rogue finds the kill. Mobs as well. This could be it. Levi with a trade. Rogue shuts down B-Wiz. But there's the round. Everyone picked off. Galaxia once again regained the composure and the round for themselves.
Took a little bit of time to realize what exactly the players of Team Strike switched up, but eventually they did make it happen. And now here comes the switches as well, Johnny. Galaxia 5 on the attack and Team Strike on the defense. And for Team Strike, now they need to do exactly what Galaxia 5 was doing on their defense. Make a little bit of those counter pushes, make it super quick. Do not even let the opponents realize what you're hitting them with, but Rian's able to find the first opener. Galaxia 5 now knows exactly what the setup's going to look like from the side of Team Strike. And this read's going to be off the essence. Yes, even though it's a 4-on-4, but still, Galaxia 5, in my opinion, they will have the advantage. The read that they have gotten, it's going to be important. With this sniper, even if he's able to find one single pick, that's going to be the game changer. And exactly what I was saying. He finds the pick, and now they start to move in towards the B site. Or the A site.
3 versus 4. There's a big wide rotation coming in from the side of Strike as well. So technically it's a 2v4 on towards that A site. Galaxia, they have complete control of the site. At least for the next few seconds. Bomb goes down. Launch secured. That's going to be a difficult retake for the side of Strike unless they find that first initial kill. The trade comes in.
Yeah. Lakshya is quick with those, man. It's really tough to shut down Lakshya, especially when he's feeling himself with that sniper. Galaxia 5, they do start to thrash the players of Team Strike once again on their attack, as now it's taken down to a 5-2. 2 more rounds needed for Galaxia 5 to get a 2-0 quickly on the scoreboard and throw out the players of Team Strike out of this matchup as well.
5-2. Galaxia still keeping the pressure up. Strike unable to deal with this. Once again, the A side completely given away. Now, I think with the mental breaking down, it is going to be a difficult recovery from the side of Strike, Necro.
And that's what you hope. Nice catch, Disparity. Patience paying off this time around. Levi gets caught. Levi thought that he's going to pull off a big brain play, but Disparity reads him like a book. And now Galaxia 5 with ease hands out a closure. And they've already got the match point in their hands. Beautiful stuff. 6-2. This is now panning out to be a complete one-sided game, favoring the players of Galaxia. And Team Strike, once again, they do not exactly know what to do to try and counter the players of Galaxia. There's not really much to say here. Galaxia 5 is straight up taking the site and winning the rounds.
Yeah, they've kept it simple, and the problem is that Strike are allowing them to do so as well. Look at that, Lakshay finds the first frag. He gets traded out, but still Galaxy already are on that B site. The bomb is going to go down, and Strike are going to be forced to play for a retake. It's not going to be an easy one for sure. Post-plant positions already taken by the players of Galaxia 5.
That's what I'm exactly saying. That one single frag from Lakshay actually pulled the entire rotation towards the A site. And the B side was vacant. And Galaxia 5, they just found a free site that they took over. And now for Team Strike, they do not even know how to retake this because they just do not have the man number anymore. Galaxia 5 with these little set plays and with these little tactical plays that they pulled, Team Strike were getting completely fiddled around.
Well, we expected this to be a close one, but it is again the players of Galaxia who walk away with a quick 2-0 on the board. And Strike now, I think their chances of moving forward are striked out inside of this challenge season, because again, this is their third loss on the overall leaderboard, man. That is done and dusted their entire journey right there.
Yeah, just even if they do get the final win, it's really not going to do anything. It's just going to be a fight for the pride type of moment. And even if they do win the final thing, at least it's something that they would go away with a bit of an understanding that what they need to do in the future when they will be back in such a competition.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the experience, learning from the mistakes that you made, as you mentioned, Necro. But this, I think, in those mid-rounds, somehow Strike... No, in the early rounds, somehow Strike were putting up a fight, but I don't know what happened during the late rounds. As soon as Galaxia 5 dropped the pace, it seems like they were just in complete control of the game.
They were, and especially when Team Strike, they were making it super quick when they were pushing up close and personal and getting countered by the players of Galaxia. Team Strike should realize that, okay, maybe that's not going to be the play. But in the first half, that's what Team Strike was doing. At least for the first 4 rounds, they were constantly pushing up and getting countered by the players of Galaxia 5.
Oh man, it was an intense series. Nothing taken away from either of these two sides, but Galaxia 5, again, as we keep talking about it, very impressively done, and especially considering just coming off of that loss against the side of Anthem just a few minutes ago. For them, it was important to have a reset, have that belief in themselves, and they regained their composure quite beautifully. And as you mentioned, Necro, in those few critical rounds, especially in the early stages in that first half, Lakshay, the big difference maker, later on he was shut down, and that is where Rogue started to stand up. From the side of Strike, Levi and Rian, 2 players we always expect to perform. This time, even Rian got shut down, and I think that was a big reason why this game turned out to be one-sided during that second half.
Honestly speaking, Levi was carrying the team on his back. But Alpha was not so alpha because he just had 1 single elimination on the board. And even Reaper only had 3. So that's where they needed to step up as a unit. Unfortunately, that did not come through. And that's where maybe you can't say Galaxia 5 they were much more better, right? Because Marbs, Drago, every single player, they were on 1 single unit. And the only time Strike lost that Search and Destroy was the first 3 rounds. As soon as the game started, Team Strike, we did not even see them. The observer was moving towards the action, and already the player was turning into a dust. So we did not even know what exactly happened, but the one thing that was confirmed was that Galaxia 5 was just smashing through the players of Team Strike.
Yeah, of course, but again, Strike not really able to find an answer to this. I think, again, last match remaining for their entire journey, and it is, I believe, going to take place tomorrow, but unfortunately, even that is going to be against Anthem. For the side of Galaxia, I think 1 more game remaining, and it is going to be interesting to see how that one fares out, although it is going to be interesting to see where Galaxia, in fact, finish up at the end of their journey. But now, Necro, this series is done and dusted. Now we get to witness the team that has just been dominating this Group A in action next. It is going to be Accelerate going up against Felines. That is going to be an interesting game for sure.
Accelerate and Felines, you can't say the rivalry keeps on going for such a long time in the past as well. Team Dope, if you remember. Yeah, I mean, I can just keep on going on for a long time, but you know what? It's better if I don't, because I would love to see a complete fresh start, considering they have also changed their name to Felines. I would love to see how they've performed now against Accelerate. I still think there's not going to be any changes in the stats, but let's just hope and cross our fingers that we might just see a competitive series. For now, it's time for us to toss to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Looks like the players are ready. Here we go!
Killing it since tip off. Come with it or stay home, the people gon' feel ripped off. It's only major leaguers in the office. If you giving half of an effort round the rest of us, you'll make it awkward. I'm about that action, not the one you talk with. You better hope I'm not the one your coach gon' have you out here really guarding. It took a lot for me to get here, but I have arrived. I really made it and the haters be looking surprised. Been down before, but now I'm better than I've ever been. Through all the adversity, I saw them right now and whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love and it's all good. Yeah. Okay. They say pressure makes diamonds. That's what I align with, cause the journey I've been climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came from the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
Waited all night for me to come back. Why'd you think that it's not alright? Told you that I'm not that type. Didn't mean to get you so excited. Tried to tell you not to fall in love. Why you always hit me love, just till I had enough of us. I'm good, babe, I'm on my own. This ain't a phase, just let me go. Told you that I'm not that type. Don't bother wasting breath. Begging for one more chance. Yeah, know you got carried away. Ooh, you don't need to say. Even this with greatness, space to stay in your face. I was looking to play, then you got in the way. All the love that we made got me stuck in your brain. Got no time to stay here and say goodbye. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have felt for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back one heart. Call it a savage love, just till I had enough of us.
Big dog, been killing it since tip off. Come with it or stay home, the people gon' feel ripped off. It's only major leaguers in the office. If you giving half of an effort around the rest of us, you'll make it awkward. I'm about that action, not the one you talk with. You better hope I'm not the one your coach gon' have you out here really guarding. It took a lot for me to get here, but I have arrived. I really made it, and the haters be looking surprised. Been down before, but now I'm better than I've ever been. Through all adversity, I saw them right now at the whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. Yeah. Okay. They say pressure makes diamonds. That's what I align with, cause the journey I've been climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came from the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
Waited all night for me to come back. Why'd you think that it's not?
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
And we already know who's going to be the one to step inside of the action now. Accelerate versus Felines, two of the most talked teams in the community.
Yeah.
They're going to be facing off against each other. Now, Felines, we expect them to have improved a little bit more, but let's be honest, Accelerate, they're going to be the heavy favorites over here.
Oh, of course. I mean, Accelerate, they've been dominating the competition in their own group. And again, the players individually are some of the best Call of Duty Mobile players you can come across in India. So, as you mentioned, we do expect Accelerate to walk away with an easy win, but Felines, have they improved enough to at least take off one map from the side of Accelerate today? That's going to be a big question.
Honestly speaking, man, Hardpoint might just be the map where they might just snatch it away because keep this thing in mind, Johnny. Both these teams are one of those teams that are firepower oriented.
Yeah.
We've seen Felines as well rely a lot on that firepower and Accelerate. Well, what else do you want me to say? They are a team that is complete powerhouse. They're supposed to be the one to unleash that firepower against the opponents. So for Accelerate, if they do want to stand a chance to win against the opponents of Felines, well, Hardpoint's going to be the first map to win. And if the players of course, the opponents, which is going to be Felines, if they do want to win against Accelerate, well, Hardpoint's going to be the map as well.
Well, let's see, though. I mean, Hardpoint, yes, it can be interesting. As you mentioned, I mean, probability is there for the side of Feline to be able to take this in their name, but if it comes down to raw firepower, man, I think Accelerate is just going to accelerate towards that win before we can even think about anything that Feline can do to make a comeback. Dope, Antivirus, Fallen, Warlord, Ouija, they have to pull out something, some rabbit out of their hat to secure this win.
But as I mentioned, right, that's the thing. Both these teams are a team that are completely similar with their play style. So they know how each other play, but still, just because of the experience, and you can't say a better momentum, there's a big chance Accelerate, they might just run away with the victory as well, and they have been doing much better compared to the players of Felines. Nothing taken away from Felines, though, but that's what the stats say, right? We do not really want to sound biased, but it is what it is, man. That's what the Call of Duty Mobile Esports in India looks like.
Yeah. Well. I mean, I'm a little bit concerned about Feline right now, to be honest. I mean, we have seen them in action in the past, and it seemed like, again, I think the closest we can bring ourselves to comparing what the series is going to be like is going to be that fight we saw between Feline and Anthem during the first half of the challenge season. Again, Feline got another opportunity to take Anthem on that search and destroy on Tunisia. Did not really work out. In fact, it was much worse beatdown the second time around. So it's going to be interesting to see. Accelerate definitely are not going to get any sort of tactics into play. They are going to go and try and take this fight head on. But it also depends on what the veto is going to be like between these two sides. So let's move ahead and have a look at the map veto. We start off on Summit and Tunisia and Raid. Yeah, I'm expecting a 2-0.
Hardpoint's important, man. For Felines, if they do want to stand a chance to win against Accelerate, Hardpoint's going to be the map where they need to seal the deal, because in Search and Destroy, of course, Accelerate's going to be the one to run through with the victory, because as I mentioned, both these teams, they do not really like to use a lot of their brains. They like to focus on their firepower and rely onto it too much. But that's where Accelerate, they might just excel. For Felines, Hardpoint's going to be the main conversion. If they're not able to convert this map, it's done for. They won't have a chance to move in towards the third mapper, and they will be wrapped up in a 2-0.
Well, let's see, though. I mean, it could be a 2-0. There's a very high probability of that happening. As you mentioned, hardpoint is important, but I mean, considering it is Accelerate, we've seen that raw firepower from these individuals put into action again and again and again and again, all the way from that, from the open finals. And it seems like there's no slowing or stopping this team. So it's going to be a difficult fight for the side of Feline nonetheless.
It will be. And especially looking at how Summit as well is as a map, it really favors a team that showcases the proactivity, and we have seen that happen in the past as well, right? Especially the first matchup of the day. Whichever team was proactive, they were the one to run away with the points, and they were also the one to establish that lead. And speaking of Team Anthem, at the start, they were getting countered by the opponents, but then Anthem realized what Galaxia 5 is trying to bring on the board, and Anthem copied the players of Galaxia 5 and implemented that same playstyle into their own. And as soon as Anthem started to be a little bit more proactive onto this map, they started winning and gaining the lead. And that's what Accelerate's pretty much going to do. Accelerate is known for their proactive approach. They're known to be how aggressive they are. They're known to be how quick they are. And one thing is for sure, Summit is their playground. And there's a reason why they've picked this map.
Oh, that is true. Summit is definitely going to be their playground. And they're going to make it look completely easy if they can. I mean, in that first opening round itself. But again, from the side of Accelerate, I think the one way they lose this is if they get a little too overconfident in their own skills. Or even, I think the wake-up call in the mid-rounds itself is when they can start to click. Let's see how it turns out, man. I can't wait for the action to begin, because it's going to be how it all begins on that P1 itself. If Accelerate get a big, hefty lead on P1, and if the players of Feline struggle to find those kills for that first hardpoint itself, I think we're going to have an answer for ourselves. Accelerate might just dominate this game. And here we go. Here the game begins.
Accelerate, I'm pretty sure they haven't even warmed up before this game. They just pretty much know that they might just be the one to come through victorious. It should be a quick day in the office for them. And off the rip, that's how they start off. G-Shots with a shotgun this time around. Is able to get a few more good feelings up in his hands. But unfortunately, that's not going to be the case with the rest of the players. Accelerate, they're now starting to get countered pretty hard. And Felines, somehow they're able to reply back to the players and Accelerate in quite a great fashion. Dope in Peace, once again holding some of the close quarters. And Dope in Peace has always been the main playmaker. Not exactly the main playmaker, especially when it comes to the stats, but he's been the impactful player for his team. He steps up when his team needs him desperately to.
Well, I mean, his team is definitely quite desperate. 22-8. It's Feline off to a great start, but let's see. Accelerate, at least the struggle is there in the first few seconds of the matchup.
Felines, once again, they've at least got the control 33-8. Accelerate now starting to struggle. I did not expect this.
Yeah.
And you've only got the final 4 seconds on the clock. The next hard point is now going to pop up. This P2. This is where the tables might just be flipped over from the side of Accelerate. It does feel like Accelerate's hands are not a little bit warmed up. As I mentioned, they haven't even warmed them up pretty much. And now they're going to warm them up inside of the game itself. First hard point was taken away, but here we go. The boys are now warmed up. Look at the kill feed. Accelerate, they're all across the board.
Well, Accelerate finally moving back in. And again, it seems like the warm-up is done. 21-38. Feline now still looking for those kills, and as long as they can find those kills, they can keep the pressure on the side of Accelerate. And they do retaliate quite nicely. Vegas with the 2K does get his team a little bit of a shutdown, but Virus fallen as well, falling out of play. Luigi and Dope trying their level best to bring their team back, and Accelerate slowly and steadily catching up, but is this going to be enough?
Accelerates once again back in the race, 29-30, and it just keeps on counting on forward. Felines, they need to snatch this control back in their hands, because if Accelerate keep on running away with the same momentum, one thing is for sure, the lead that the players of Feline have gained off the rip is going to be snatched away easily. And already you can see the equalizer being handed out from the side of Accelerate. A few more seconds, and the P3 is going to pop up as well, Johnny.
Well, let's see. P3 pops up, and it's going to be active in the next 4 seconds. It's going to be the players of Feline who get there first. They are dominating this game in terms of points, in terms of rotation, but Accelerate, as soon as the triggers start to click, they once again bring themselves back in the driving seat, still saving up a lot of those operator skills, finally utilizing one. It's going to be Extinct who brings his in play, but now how do the players from the side of Feline go for a retake? 40 seconds remain, and Accelerated, they end up dominating this hardpoint. This gives them the lead and the control of this matchup in the early stages.
And that's the crazy part. Already you can see the heavy investments being made from the side of Accelerate, right? Accelerate, for some reason, they're just running away with the control now, 77 to 48. Felines is stuck on that 48 mark, and Felines not able to find any sort of entrance. They're not even able to find that peak towards the hard point. And Felines, you can already see the players are moving in towards the next point because they know now at this point in time, going for the previous one, you do not really have a lot of time left over anyways. So you might as well try to be a little bit more proactive, moving towards the upcoming hard point, and that's where Felines, they have a better shot.
Yeah, they do have a shot right now, but again, Accelerate, look at that kill feed. They're just dominating in terms of firepower again, and that is a big reason why the side of Feline is struggling. Control of the hard point once again in the hands of Accelerate, and they're very proactive in winning those fights, picking off the players of Feline before they get anywhere close to that hard point. It's given them so much control of this match, just cutting off those rotations, cutting off those pathways, and Feline now, they have no answer to this.
Yeah, it's starting to look one-sided now, Johnny. This is what we all saw coming, and this is what is exactly happening on the board, too. Accelerate off the rip. Yes, they were struggling on the first hard point, but then later on, Felines, they're not able to find any sort of reply. Accelerate's just running away with better positioning and, of course, better stats on the board. And if you do get so many kills, the opponents won't have a target anyways. The opponents are getting confused at this point in time, how they are supposed to attack and how they're supposed to snatch away the hard point away from the hands of Accelerate.
Well, oh boy, Feline finally a little bit of a frag fest coming in from them. And maybe this could be the turning point of this match, but Accelerate, a big lead for them to work with. Just putting up that mental pressure on the players of Feline, and if they choke even for a second, they have the Purifier. Virus, in fact, just cleaning up this hard point. They have a lot of time to catch up to the side of Accelerate, and as long as the skill is active, Accelerate are going to continue to struggle. Look at that Virus! He just goes berserk. 10 kills already secured.
The man with the Purifier is looking pretty nuts, and he keeps on going on with that same momentum too. Virus, the man needs to be countered soon. If the same stuff keeps on happening, it is going to be quite problematic. Predator missile as well pulled out as he finds another one on the board. Virus at this point in time is just able to get streaks after streaks. No one's able to stop the man. Eventually, Virus will be stopped in his tracks, but Accelerate, the main problem is the lead that they had set up is now getting countered a little bit. But as soon as I say so, once again, Accelerate, they snatch back the hard point control in their hands. And look at G-Shots. This man is now panning out to be a big menace with this Sparrow. He's able to wipe out the entirety of Felines.
Well, 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 and there's a big play coming in from their side, 164 to 86. Accelerate once again in the driving seat. They still have one operator skill remaining, but Vegas is going to be shut down before he even thinks about using it. Although the War Machine on Extinct, he tries to bring it into action, tries to go big, it's going to be shut down, and Feline finally putting up a tough fight in the late stages of this match. Can they catch up? Is a big difference for them to cover up. They still have a lot of time remaining on this hard point, and Vegas finds an important frag for his team, but they need those multi-kills now if they want to maintain this lead and head towards the closing moments of this game. Somehow Accelerate are inching towards that 200-point marker, but Feline slowly and steadily are catching up.
Here's the thing, Johnny. Felines, they're definitely getting the kills, but they're not getting the kills exactly on the spot where they're supposed to. The hard point is still being contested by the players of Accelerate. Yes, just getting the kills, giving the kills away is something that's not going to matter for Accelerate as long as they're winning this entire map, and that's what Accelerate is focused on. But Felines, that's what they need to realize. Accelerate is not afraid to feed them kills as long as they're getting the score on board. And Felines, if they keep on just chasing the kills now, that's going to be a bit of a problem because Felines, they need to be a little bit more tactical and try and compromise and try and compete for the hard point.
Well, let's see though, 199 to 101, 200-point marker almost there for the side of Accelerate. And as soon as they get there, we all know it's not going to be too difficult for them to be able to close this out. But Feline, they do manage to hold on. Some control regain for this hard point. The shutdown comes in. There are no more operator skills remaining for the side of Accelerate. So Feline will have the advantage to try and keep the pressure going. But Accelerate, they have control of the hard point already. And Feline, they're struggling to go for the retake.
Yeah, they've got 35 seconds, Johnny, and if Accelerate is not stopped with this control, they're just going to run away with the victory on this hard point itself. They need to be stopped. They've still got 25 more seconds. Heavy investments now being pulled out from the side of Felines, and Felines cannot prioritize the upcoming hard point anymore. They need to go for this, and that's what Felines has done. All the investments, they've found them the kills, and they've also found them the control that was desperately needed, but Accelerate is once again back in the flow of things. 126 will make it 228 now. Accelerate, they've got got a heavy advantage, a heavy scoreboard lead against the players of Felines, and at this point in time, Felines, all they're doing is just farming kills. But as I mentioned, Accelerate are not afraid of letting the opponents farm kills as long as Accelerate themselves an edge in the scoreboard.
Oh, it's going to be intense for sure. 233 to 121. Feline, they're trying to catch up, but Necro with 17 points to go. Accelerate should be able to close out this game. Extinct, he has that operator skill once again on him, but it's not going to matter. Virus just gets taken out. Luigi chimes in with a 3K. The cleanup is very impressive, and somehow it is Feline still holding on for dear life. Accelerate stopped in their tracks, but not too far away from victory.
For some reason, Johnny, Rebel is not able to pop off the same way he was able to in the previous couple of matches. Rebel's starting to struggle, but it's completely fine. Still, his teammates, they are taking care of business. And as long as they're coming through victorious, that's all that's going to matter. 245, Johnny's done for. We already know what the result's going to look like. 248, a few more points, and that's it. Accelerate, they close out the first summit in their way. And now we pretty much know what the outcome's going to look like. Even though Search and Destroy, it should not be taken away from Accelerate on paper.
Yeah, I mean, nothing taken away from them. The result is what we expected, but to be honest, Felines, with how they started and with how those mid-round plays were going, I think I'm very impressed. Now there's a little bit of hope for Search and Destroy, but it's definitely going to be quite intense between these two sides. And from the side of Feline, Luigi, that man was on fire. Unfortunately, it requires the entire team to walk away with a win, and Luigi, it seems like for the later stages of the game at least, was just fighting all alone.
But that's what I'm saying, though, right, Johnny? Felines, they were able to get the kills on the rotation, but they were not able to get the kills on the hard point itself.
Yeah.
And that's a major concern because the defense on the hard point itself from Accelerate, it was flawless. It was impenetrable for a long time. And then later on, Felines realized the fact that, okay, now we cannot let go of the control anymore. They started pulling out the operator skills. They started going for the heavy investments. And that's when Felines sort of gained a little bit of that confidence. But still, it was a little bit too late because at that point, Accelerate was already they already had more than 200 points.
Yeah, they do. And again, I mean, once you have that big of a lead, once you cross that 200-point marker and you know for a fact that the other team is 90, 80 points behind you, you start to feel confident and you know for a fact that you will be able to close out this game, and slowly and steadily, that is what happened. Eventually, it was Accelerate just by inching closer and closer and closer towards that victory point marker, towards the latest of the game, eventually did come out on top. But then again, I mean, we have to wait to see what happens on Search and Destroy. And again, as we mentioned, Luigi, very impressive inside of the game. Some support there from Illusion as well, but the other three players also need to step up.
I mean, the scoreboard clearly says it. As I mentioned, Revel and Warden were not exactly able to pop off the same way they were able to in the previous couple of competitions, but it's completely fine, especially when your team has got your back. And Revel, Johnny, this man is supposed to be the devil of Accelerate, and for some reason, this time around, Revel was deactivated. But hey, as long as you get the dub, that's all that matters, right?
Exactly. As long as the win is there, who cares who performed and who cares who wasn't able to perform. But yes, I think a lot of expectations are always there from Revel, and we do expect him to be the frontliner for the team. But it's okay to have an off day or at least an off start. You never know, maybe on Search and Destroy is where we see him pop off.
But G-Shots today, this man was incredible.
Very impressive, yeah.
Especially with that Sparrow. He wiped out the entirety of the opposition team. And that Sparrow play was definitely the main table turner, especially gave the hope back in the hands of Accelerate, knowing the fact that, yes, we're still better. We do have it in our hands.
Yeah.
And Accelerate, as I mentioned, yes, they were losing the duels, nothing taken away from that, but they were losing the duels on the rotation where Accelerate did not really care about losing those duels. But on hardpoint, they already had a solid hold. And that's where Felines were not able to break through.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I mean, Feline, we knew this was going to be a tough matchup for them. It's just gotten a lot more tougher, losing out on that hard point already. Search and Destroy, that is going to be Tunisia. It is going to be their map pick, and they did give a tough fight to Anthem once before. Can they take the win against Accelerate? If they cause an upset right here on this Search and Destroy, I'm going to be very impressed, and you never know, maybe Accelerate panic and lose out on the series.
You want me to be honest? It's the game of snipers, because Accelerate's going to be super aggressive now. And if the players, the Felines, want to have a chance of winning it, the sniper needs to pop off. One single missed shot and it's done.
Oh man, but let's see how things are going to turn out. As you mentioned, one shot missed and it's done. If you find those multi-kills with the snipers, it's going to be intense, but it's going to be Vegas from the side of Accelerate to kick things off. Extincts in the back line.
So quick.
Yeah, he's very quick, but unfortunately no one's peeking him.
Accelerate's already taken over the site, and they've already gotten all the spawn controls as well. Okay, Johnny, well, this is what I'm saying. Accelerate, they're going to be super quick. The only way you can stop Accelerate is by taking the sniper shots, and you need to have the 100% accuracy. If you whiff even one single shot, the site will be gone, and even your head after a while.
That is true. Another thing that was very interesting is majority of the times we've seen Tunisia before, it is that A side pressure that the attackers struggle with. And Accelerate just straight up run it towards the B side. All of that heavy investment from the side of Feline down mid towards A did not really work out for them. They are going to get a little bit more proactive this time, but look at this, a 5-man push towards B again. And with the utility, they find those frag, but Fallen with that 2K can turn things around. No! Gets shut down, and it's a 3v3 again in this round.
You can't miss shots like that, my friend. Your sniper needs to connect. You're the main playmaker for your team with that sniper on this site, and if you whiff even one single shot, instantly Accelerate will be back in the flow of things. And that's what has happened. But Accelerate, look at this. They're trying to be the cheeky bunch and rotate towards the opposite site. And for some reason, Felines has not seen this coming. A site's going to be vacant. An easy entrance for the players of Accelerate to move in towards the A site. And Dope, he does sense some sort of a presence, but look at this late lurk from Extincts on the opposite side. And now this crossfire that the players of Accelerate have got going for themselves, it might just be the main playmaker. First man spotted, shots taken, a little bit of that damage, but it's not enough to get the man taken down. And Extincts, you talk about 100% accuracy, and Extincts is going to be the man to bring it on the board.
As you mentioned, Necro, it is a game built for snipers, and Extincts definitely on fire. 5 kills already secured. The top fragger for his team right now. And somehow Feline need to find an answer to him. If he gets shut down, that is when your probability of winning the round already goes up. It's going to be a danger man from the side of Accelerate out of the way.
You cannot miss a single shot as a sniper. This time around, things are taken aggressive. MG42 in the hand of the back lines, and already Dope in piece as well. Starting to reply back in great fashion. Nicely done. Takes down 2 players single-handedly. But even Accelerate, they're not that far back. They once again find the equalizer somehow. And Extincts, as long as this man's life, it's going to be an easy pickings for him. Peeks out once again with that sniper. Now, Felines, they need to be a little bit more wary of the fact that as long as Extincts is alive, there's still someone who can lead you to your demise. Fallen's able to find Warden, and that's quite an important pick. But Extincts now is playing the patience game. He's waiting for the man to pop out. How does he miss that shot? But eventually he connects the second one. Extincts getting his presence. And what a quick scope that was. I'm telling you, Johnny, it's the game of snipers.
Yeah, but still, that last frag, man, that was insane. Just jumps right in his face and takes that shot right in his head before the other lad could even react. Extincts, 7 kills already secured. It's just the third round of the game. This one man is just proving too much for the entirety of Feline to deal with. Warden, he finds a frag, gets shut down. This could be it. This could be what gets Team Feline on the board. Again, it's just Extincts remaining, brings it down to 1v2. Can he clutch out for the win again? Overexposed, overextended, gets one more.
God.
And
It's done! What?
What has he done?
Oh my God!
Brilliant 4K clutch, man.
Extincts, he's the god for his team now. Since the devil is not able to find his momentum, the god has stepped up and took matters in his own hands. The rival's not able to find any reply, and Extincts, this one single man is more than enough to take down the entirety of Felines. He just cooked the entire team of Felines.
Yeah. Oh boy, man, you lose like that, I think the series is done. It's a 4-0. No, they lost a 1v4.
It's done, Johnny. It's done. I'm telling you, it's the game of snipers.
Yeah.
And this time around, Accelerate Sniper is much better. And he's also in form. So, yeah, for Felines, as long as your sniper's not connecting, it's done. He just whiffed a shot like that. There's no way you're going to win the match.
Now it's not even about the snipers. You lose out of 1v2, it's still fine. The very next round, you lose out of 1v4. That just breaks your morale completely, man. And Accelerate just completely dominating this attacking half so far inside of this game.
It feels like at this point, just let Extincts play all by himself and let all the 5 players be AFK. Honestly speaking, man, this one single man is more than enough to bring down the entirety of Felines on their knees right now. He's feeling the groove. He's in the momentum. He can feel the heat as well. And hold on, G-Shots. This man is like the cherry on top of the cake. He's already handed the victory over to his team, and it's quite a great gift.
Also, by the way, Necro, Revel just found his first kill of this game.
Yeah, Revel's having a off day, I'm not gonna lie. He struggled on hard point. He's struggling over here as well. It's fine though. Sometimes Revel can have off days considering he's a human being.
Yeah.
He's not the actual devil.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe it's not an off day. Maybe it's just his day off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I get you, man.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Maybe Revel just does not want to perform because he knows his team's gonna win anyways.
You guys take care of things. I do not want to try out today. It's a beautiful Saturday evening.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I just woke up, guys, and I'm playing a match already. Come on. So I'm not gonna play technically. But Extinx and his boys, well, they're stepping up anyways. What am I supposed to cast in this? It's a complete one-sided annihilation. I do not even know what I'm supposed to say. I'm speechless.
Yeah. I mean, now I think we can say it's a 1v5 situation. It's going to be a quick 7-0 coming in from Accelerate. And these are quite rare. There it is. He finds one, but Revel finally secures another kill on the board. And that's going to be the last one, not just for this mode, but for this series. And Accelerate, what a way to close things out. 2-0 Felines. That was a quick one for sure.
Flawless 7-0 on the board. And we never thought this.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought at least Felines can make it a little bit competitive. Maybe you can say 7-5 would have been the final scoreline, but no, when Extinx is popping off like that, he's the only player you need in your team, and you all can just go AFK, have fun, or maybe eat some chips and watch them play. But yeah, I mean, Accelerate, it was all Extinx today. It was all Extinx.
Yeah, I mean, it was all Extinx, man. And I can't even blame the players of Feline, man. You lose out a 1v2, as I mentioned during the game as well. This 1 versus 2 clutch was still fine, because a few mistakes here and there, and Extinx walked away with the win. But look what happens here. He's just out into the open, runs out into the open, and yet the timing for those duels from the players of Felines was so off that Extinx was just handed over those isolated 1v1s.
It's confidence oozing out.
Yeah.
Extinx knew that he's supreme. Straight up. He knew that he's better than these players, and the way he was disrespecting them with those peaks, it's not something you would see on a pro level, but hey, you saw this happen today. Accelerate. I mean, a 7-0 is going to be more than enough to speak for itself. And Felines, yeah, well, there's not really a lot to say, honestly speaking, Johnny. I'm just speechless, man. Felines, they have been completely shattered, one-sided by the players of Accelerate, while Extinx, he got those 12 kills, and of course, as I mentioned, the main playmaker and the god for his team.
Oh, man, that was just very impressive performance. Look at that. 12 kills, 0 deaths. That just makes it even more godly, the performance that just came in from this individual. And what a way to just dominate their group, Accelerate. I think this is the best team in Group A, man. They are just going to go unbeaten till the very end. Yeah, this was their last game. They've just gone unbeaten. It's just 4-0 whitewash for Group A for Accelerate.
It is. It's been a flawless run for Accelerate, yes. And with the way Extinx was playing that previous Search and Destroy, my mind was saying, Extinx, you can't do this. It's not a scrim match. You're in a professional tournament. But still, for some reason, man, Extinx, this man was unstoppable. He was just running away with the heads of the opponents. But for Felines, it's definitely a big learning curve now as they collided against one of the formidable force once again. And still, for some reason, Felines was not able to come up with anything unique. They were way too predictable for their opponents, and that's why they come through victorious. As I mentioned, both these teams, they rely a lot on the firepower, but still, for some reason, it feels like even when it comes to mechanics, Accelerate, they're miles better. And of course, those little set plays as well, that just adds on the icing on top of the cake.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it's going to be interesting to see how things turns out for the future. I'm quite excited to see this team on that challenge final stage, the side of Accelerate, see what they're going to be up to once that land pressure finally sets in. But, I mean, just a dominating run, man. The name suits them, to be
indeed
honest.
is. It indeed is. Accelerating through their victories. Before now, it's time for us to toss for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
like the players are ready. Here we go!
Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back your heart. Call it a savage love. Just when I had enough of us. I'm good, babe. I'm on my own. This ain't a phase. Just let me go. Told you that I'm not that type. Don't wanna waste any ride. Begging for one more chance. Yeah, know you got carried away. Ooh, you made me to say. Even just when greatness faces.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
One group's done. Now it's time for the second group to chime inside of the action, where Panda Express, they will be playing both the remaining games, but first they are going to be facing off against NonStop, and in the second matchup, they're going to be facing off against Godlike. And for some reason, it feels like the odds are not stacked with Panda Express in both these matchups.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the Godlike matchup coming up next for them after this one. That is definitely the toughest one you could have asked for, but then again, against NS doing quite well for themselves, sitting third in the leaderboard as far as the leaderboard for Group B is considered, with 1 win, 1 loss. NF have done quite well for themselves. Panda Express on the other side, as you mentioned, Necro, they're going to play 2 matches back-to-back. Unfortunately, these could be the very last 2 games they play in the Snapdragon Pro Series this year.
No, man, Pandas are pretty cute. I do not want to see them being kicked out from the tournament. I would love to see them in the finals. But hey, NonStop's lineups on the screen. Cosmo and Crypt, Smitty, Karma, and Lemon. We've seen all these guys, of course, Lemon, Cosmo, this deadly duo. They, of course, never fail to perform. Yeah. And NonStop, honestly speaking, this as a whole unit, NonStop is a perfect team. Sometimes they can lack a few things, and that's going to be the experience, but I'm pretty sure once they reach to the DreamHack LAN finals, things will be much better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. NonStop, they've been quite impressive so far, but yep, a few shaky performances here and there have lost them a few matches, but it's still going to be interesting. NonStop on paper look extremely strong. The team coordination looks quite solid from this side, but then we talk about Panda Express, Ron Rizla, Urail, Treasure, Husband, and Babla inside of this team. I mean, we've seen struggles from Panda Express, not gonna lie, even in their journey from that open finals. I mean, things are not looking that good, to be honest.
Ron Rizla, as you mentioned, he's one of those main playmakers as well. And you cannot really forget Babla, too. The last time when we saw Panda Express performed, Babla was quite a nice player for this entire team. And hopefully today as well, he's going to pop off against NonStop. Because let's be honest, right? The only chance Panda have to win is going to be against the players of NonStop. Because Godlike, that might just be too much of a tall ask.
Well, it is definitely going to be quite a big ask for them. But let's see how things turn out today. And again, Ron Rizla, I mean, has been quite an impressive player from the side of Panda Express, but the problem is, majority of the time, it's just him alone who's there looking for those kills, getting very proactive with finding those frags, but the struggles continue. Every single individual from this team right now needs to step up if they want to stand a fighting chance against NS today. And this is that one game that they can actually win right now.
Yeah.
Other than that, moving on to the next match against Godlike, oh, that's going to be a quick 2-0 for sure.
Oh yeah, that's what we all expect, right? But Johnny, if you remember, the last time when we saw Godlike play, I think so they were facing off against NS. If I'm not wrong, I don't exactly remember who they were facing off against. But Godlike, for some reason, they pulled off a prank off the rip. And Hardpoint, for some reason, in the first 2 or 3 minutes, Godlike was not able to get anything done on the hardpoint. But then later on, it was a complete clean swipe from Godlike. So we do not know. Maybe Godlike would want to pull off a prank right like that and play with their hearts.
Necro, that's a warm-up. They were warming up in the first few minutes of the game, and once they were warmed up, that's when they dominated. But hey, we do have the map video on our screen. Standoff is going to be the map for Hardpoint, picked by NS. Search and Destroy, Korahana Metropolis, picked by Panda Express, and then we move on to Control, which is going to be played on Arsenal. Another pick coming in from the players of NS. Looking at the veto, I feel we might actually get to see that decider being played between these two sides. What are your thoughts?
Honestly speaking, the only time Panda Express can have a chance to move on towards the decider is going to be Search and Destroy. Not exactly in Hardpoint, because I think Lemon and Cosmo, once again, this deadly duo is going to step in for NonStop. And NonStop, they might just devour the Pandas in the first map. But then in second, in Search and Destroy, I think it's going to be fair deal for Panda Express as well, deal against the players of NonStop. Because we've seen NonStop crumble a little bit in that Search and Destroy mode. And speaking of Godlike, right? A few weeks ago, I think so a week or two ago, Neutrino made a statement saying that we're going to try to take the competition as seriously as possible, and we'll try to have a flawless run throughout this entire Snapdragon Pro Series, because they want to set an example, they want to set a bar in the CODM Esports scene, especially in India.
Oh, of course, but let's see how high is the bar going to be set. And again, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, but before that, this matchup, NonStop versus Panda Express. And here we go, finally it begins, the clash between the two sides, but... Alright, what's going on? One of the players from the side of Panda Express is standing in spawn over there.
I mean, he's a Panda, man. He's quite lazy, right? It'll take his time.
Why you gotta do him
to
dirty,
get his feet
Necro?
warmed up. I mean, that's how pandas are, right? They love their own habitat. They don't really like to leave it. And for now, that's what he's exactly doing too. Panda Express, though, just these 4 players, they're definitely trying their best to give a tough fight to the players of NonStop. But NonStop, if they keep on playing the same way, well, one thing is for sure, it will be a one-sided lead and a one-sided affair. Karma as well is able to find a few multi-kills. Panda Express, the man who's all the way back in the spawn, he needs to wake up, and that's what exactly has happened. Johnny, all the players from the side of Panda Express, they're on the board equally.
Yeah, they are on the board, and NonStop, though, I think already after the races, they've taken the advantage in the first few seconds of the game. 30-4, 32 now. NonStop once again in control of this matchup. The Panda Express, they're trying their level best to go for retake, but I think that delay in the first few seconds is just what NonStop needed to just run away and mow down the side of Panda Express completely.
Yeah, now it feels like even NonStop, they've got the mental edge over the players of Panda Express. 46-4, Panda Express stuck. Not even able to find any sort of replies against the players of NonStop, and NonStop just running away with this lead. For some reason, the players of Panda Express are not even able to win the duels. Even Crusher's getting crushed today.
Oh man, there is absolutely no way that we're going to see a mow down right now in a series like this. Cosmo just waiting, spots an opposing player, takes him out. Urail as well, shut down along with Reed. Husband falls down to Cosmo as he gets a 2K for himself, and it's just NonStop, man, in complete control of this game. Panda Express still haven't even hit double digits.
Yeah, something needs to be done from the side of Panda Express at this point. If the same stuff just keeps on repeating itself, Panda Express, they're really going to have a tough pill to swallow. They need to be a little bit more proactive, move on towards the upcoming hard point, and maybe try and contest that, because this one's done and dusted. You've only got 10 more seconds to try and go for the control, but still, for some reason, Panda Express is moving towards the same hard point. It's a little bit too late, and they need to understand it, and that's where Lamont's able to find those multi-kills and stop the players of Panda Express in track.
Well, let's see, though. It is going to be an intense match for sure between the two sides. Panda Express, they're trying their level best. Stuck on 4. That is it. And here comes the equalizer from Cosmo. He's going to look to find the second, but fails to do so. Gets shut down. Doesn't even matter. NonStop already on triple digits. And Panda Express, well, it seems like this Express is just stuck at the starting point. It's not moving even an inch.
Indeed, man. I mean, just look at the kill feed too. NonStop is just completely storming through against the players of Panda Express, and for some reason, Panda Express, well, once again, just stuck on that 4-point marker. Johnny, this is a stomp.
Yeah.
I never saw this coming. I thought at least Panda Express can have a shot, have a chance of maybe pulling off something, maybe give a little bit of that tight slap back to the players of NonStop, but no, that's not the case.
Yeah, man, I mean, this is just too brutal to witness right now. 139-4. And it seems like that meme, please stop. He's dead already. The players of NonStop, I mean, living up to their name, not stopping even for a second. Last 4 seconds left on this hard point, and they still stay there. Panda Express now finally will have an opportunity to move their score just a further ahead. They get to this hard point a little bit quicker, a little bit before than the players of NonStop, so they should be there. Time to shine. But as I say that, they just walk away, man. That's the 5th point right there. The 6th one comes through, and the 7th, and the 8th. Double digits on the board for Panda Express now.
Yeah, that's one of the easiest hard points to defend, so that's why Panda Express are at least able to defend this one, so that's a great thing. Stopping the players of NonStop, breaching through, but as I say, so well, there we go. NonStop, they've breached through that hard point as well. It's like a wall that's been cracked easily open by the players of NonStop. And Panda Express, once again, left with a lot of those surprise look on their faces. Sparrow's being pulled out as well from NonStop, and now the heavy investments we speak of, they're also being pulled out from the players of NonStop. They're not going to back away from using those, and easily they will have this control as well.
The second you say that this is the easiest hard point to defend is the very second that NonStop just move in. Talk about a caster's curse better than that, but 183-18. And again, just completely one-sided beatdown. Karma is going to try to find those early frags, succeeds, Smithy as well. And it's just NonStop, not even playing the hard point now. They're just running around the map, killing the players of Panda Express everywhere.
I think so they were just giving up because Panda Express
Maybe.
knows the lead is way too big. Even if you do try to make it super close, how close is it really going to be? Maybe 80 points compared to the players of NonStop just taking the victory, and still that's not even enough to get close to the players of NonStop. This lead that they have established, NonStop knows it's quite a stark lead, and it's quite a stark statement against Panda Express. And the Pandas, all they can do is just sit and watch their own demise as they will fade away from the first map itself. 200 points marker reached from NonStop, and NonStop is already setting up the boundaries that Panda Express isn't able to move.
And 25 against 215. 20 more seconds left for NonStop to control on this hard point, and they're doing it so beautifully as well. 15 seconds remain. I think we are heading towards the closure. This Necro has to be one of the quickest hard points we have witnessed in this entire competition so far. I think this is going to be one of the best beatdowns we've witnessed.
It indeed is. I mean, NonStop. Why would you say one of the best? I mean, this was not even a competition for NonStop. 26 to 237. What is this, Johnny? This is one of the worst beatdowns that we witnessed. It's not the best.
I mean,
and for Panda Express, how are they supposed to recover before they move in towards search and destroy?
I mean, you're a good guy, Necro. You are still watching it from the perspective of Panda Express. I'm just rooting for NonStop now. 250 to 26. Man, that's just brutal. That is... I don't even know what to say about this. 1-0, it's done and dusted.
Defending the Pandas, honestly speaking, fine is not exactly their thing, so it's completely fine in my opinion. They're not really a violent species, so I do understand why Panda Express struggled while they were trying to take down the players of NonStop.
But it's a Panda Express, man. They had to bring in the Express, but turns out it was just all Pandas. Just running around, five of them differently.
As I mentioned, it's not really a violent species. They just want their bamboos and they just want to eat them. It's completely fine. They're quite cozy in their own habitat. But let's move on towards the highlight. And let's sprinkle a little bit of that salt on top of the wounds.
Yeah, I wonder how long this highlight is going to be. It's going to be like, what, 20, 30 seconds?
Probably. It's just going to be non-stop.
Yeah, this game was like 3 minutes.
Probably. I mean, just look at what's happening. It's just non-stop POV the entire time. We're not even going to see the players of Panda Express over during the highlight even once. It's just going to be them on the receiving side of things.
Yeah.
Lamont, Cosmo, and Force-Knee, the boys, they don't even stand a chance. NonStop, honestly speaking, I did expect NonStop to win, but not in such a dominating fashion. I thought at least Panda Express can make it a little bit closer, maybe 180 to 250. That was the ideal scoreline I was expecting.
Exactly. I mean, even if it wasn't 180 to 250, at least you would expect them to be able to cross a 100-point marker, right? Did not happen. They were stuck. The best they did was 26, man. That is just worse. It's bad. It's worse. I mean, this wasn't even a nightmare, because if you have a nightmare like this, I don't think you're waking up.
But hey, I guess the players have woken up, man, and they still need to perform, by the way. That's the worst possible thing. Especially recovering from such a beatdown, it's going to be next to impossible mentally. And let's just hope, cross your fingers, that maybe Panda Express can recover from this before they move in towards the Search and Destroy. And Search and Destroy is also going to be played on the classic map, so I think NonStop will run away with a NonStop lead and have this 2-0 easily by their side. And you want to hear even worse things? The upcoming matchup is going to be against Godlike.
Oh yeah, that's... Oh man, I mean, why did you have to say that already? I had forgotten about it for a second after this performance, to be honest. But, Necro, hey, you know what? You know how they say there's two sides to every single coin, right? So, as we say, right now, yes, Panda Express, as you mentioned, they might have woken up after a defeat like this. But NonStop, if they get a little too confident in their own skills, if they get overconfident moving on to Search and Destroy, you never know if Panda Express can find that equalizer that they're looking for now.
This is where I would like to correct you, and if they do get overconfident, it's still not going to be enough to stop the players of NonStop. Because even their overconfident phase will be better than the players of Panda Express. Because with the Panda Express, how they played, I do not want to sound too mean, but it definitely feel like even when it comes to the mechanical aspect of the game, NonStop was better. Even when it comes to the team play, NonStop was much better. Communication, and you talk about the synergy as well as a whole knit unit, NonStop was just better in all the aspects. If you try and compare these two teams' performance in a bar, NonStop's bar will be excelling the limits.
Well, let's see though. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out in this Search and Destroy. Hey! NonStop again off to a great start, finding those two early kills.
As expected. Lamont, with his sniper, is able to crush Crusher. Rail and Babla, last two guys left standing. Can they really pull off a comeback, though? I think so. It's next to impossible. Rail, though. Hold on, challenges the player head on, and he's able to find a nice two-piece as well. He might just be the main playmaker. Hold on, he can be the one to save the day, and I just hyped him up a little bit too much.
Well, let's see, 1-0 off to an expected start, the side of NonStop, but can they keep this going? I think so, man. Limon is already on fire, getting 3 kills in that opening round. You know how important that sniper is going to be, especially in his hands.
Kurohane isn't exactly the game of snipers,
Yeah.
in my opinion. It's a game for everyone. All the roles are supposed to play their role properly in order for the pieces to fall into place. And right now, the sniper's definitely looking forward to take a few peeks because he's way too eager. A few trades happening back and forth, but once again for Panda Express, they just don't have the man number to try and go up against the players of NonStop. And for NonStop, it's a complete one-sided domination. The man's right in front. Husband gets spotted. Shot whiffed. Encrypt. He does not even need to do anything as Lamont's going to find the closure.
2-0. This one was very awkward and an easy round, it seems like, for the side of NonStop. They just got free control of that site. Nothing Panda Express could do or felt like wanted to do to stop them in their tracks. But hey, Limon, look at him. Off to a brilliant start. And now NonStop is just mowing them over. Look at the positioning on the map, man. They're split on towards B and the mid, denying any opportunity to the players of Panda Express to rotate. That rotation down mid gets shut down even before it happens, and it's just a whitewash coming in from NonStop. Last man left alive, Urail. I don't think he can do anything.
Honestly speaking, with the way NonStop's playing, they're already overconfident, but still, Panda Express isn't able to stop them. And this is what I was exactly saying.
Yeah.
Even the overconfident face of NonStop is going to be so good that Panda Express won't be able to find the reply, and that's what exactly is happening.
3-0. NonStop in the driving. Limon is sitting at 8 kills. Man, the monster already. Oh, look at the utility down mid. They find the first frag. This time it's going to be Panda Express. Off to a decent start. This time they have the numbers advantage to work with. 4 versus 2. 3 versus 2 as the trade comes in. Cosmo finds an important kill for his team. Although side denied. Yeah, first round on the board, it seems like, for Panda Express.
1-on-3. Can he pull it off? He's got the C4 right in the front. And he will go for the pick as well. Cosmo, I'm not sure what Crusher was doing with the spear in his hands, but that's a big mistake. And this might just give the entrance that Cosmo needed. Big mishaps coming through from Panda Express as they whiff a lot. And now, once again, a glimmer of hope has been ignited in the heart of NonStop in this round as well. Cosmo, he just pulled a big prank on the players of Panda Express. While Panda Express, they made a few rookie mistakes. The first mistake was, what was the man doing with a spear in his hands? And the second mistake was, what was the man doing on the site completely lost?
Oh, look at Cosmo, though. He's just looking for that last man mid. He's going to be spotted out. Now, Cosmo is on the run. Both of them running towards that B side because the bomb drop, I'm pretty sure, was called out. But Cosmo gets there first. Bomb recovered. And he's going to try and run it back towards the A side. 30 seconds left. But the play has been read, Necro. And it's going to be once again down mid where Urail is going to try and block him.
This is brilliant.
Yeah.
Maybe Urail as well. He can be wrapped around, Johnny. Look at this. He's moving all the way from the left, and Urail's got no clue. He's already crossed him over as they move it towards the A site. And even the plant's going to come through, Johnny. He sticks it.
Late realization.
And now left wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just left wondering, where is the man going to be? And especially, trust me, 1v1 scenarios are one of the most anxious scenarios that you can put yourself in. These are so uncomfortable, but for some reason, Cosmo turned his back at the wrong time, and Urail, with that perfect lurk, caught him off guard.
Finally, though. Man, this round lasted longer than it needed to be honest. It was down to a 1v3. The man brought it down to a 1v1, so you know how much trouble NonStop is going to cause Panda Express moving forward. But hey, at least they find that one round on the board in the early stage as well. It's 3-1 right now. Oh, those nades!
At least it's not a 7-0.
Ooh.
Okay, well, Cosmo with the revenge. He was supposed to clutch out the previous one, but then Cosmo got pissed. And now he does not even take the gunfight. His nade is more than enough. It's like a heat-seeking missile. but it's actually not. It's just a normal frag grenade. Oh, shots taken. So once again, the trade's in the favor of NonStop. A 3 or actually a 4-on-1. And Panda Express is not going to be able to do a lot, considering Encrypt is the only man who's fallen down. A 1-on-4 sounds a little bit too much to try and pull off. A beautiful smoke at least, but still a rail just walks into the crosser of Le Mans.
Yeah, 4-1. Did not matter if you walked into the crosshair or try to just get a read around the corner, but NonStop, a big advantage to work with. B site left completely abandoned, and NonStop have, I don't think they've gone a single time, so Panda Express hoping to play for a retake. They need to find this first kill. Reach, no! Oh no, just empties out a clip, and Cosmo just shows up with an impressive 2K for his team.
Solid stuff from Cosmo. And even the man on the wrap will be caught. Rail. No matter what Rail's trying to bring on the board, he's always getting caught. And this time around, Husband, at least he's able to find some sort of a semblance, but it's not going to be enough. Once again, one single man left in a 1-on-4 scenario, which will be next to impossible to be converted. Unfortunately, a leg shot. Not enough to get the man compromised, and okay, he gets speared to death. That's one of the worst deaths, and this is what you call the salt on top of the wound moment.
Just got whacked in his head, man. You gotta lose memory after that.
I thought he poked him.
Oh, I thought he just got whacked in his face, like, come here, boy.
I mean, whatever it is, the man was still taken down. That's what matters.
At least they didn't shoot him, right? It was just a knockout.
Hey, look at the brighter side of things. At least it was not a 7-0, just like the previous
Oh,
game,
true,
right?
true.
Oh, but Reach, hold on. Maybe he's here to turn the fate for his team. But Karma and Le Mans, these two guys on the sniper, they've got something else written on their books. Reach, he finds the third man as well. This one single man is now converting a few frags. That's really keeping his team on the board. But Reach gets caught by Le Mans. Beautiful stuff. Still got so much more time on the side. Panda Express can easily borrow that time, go for the plant on the site, play a few mind games with the opponents, fiddle with their minds. But Crusher, beautiful stuff. Catches one of the players off guard. He still has a big chance of winning this round.
The problem is it's Le Mans on the other side, the best performing player on the side of NonStop right now. But Crusher knows all he has to do is just connect that first shot right in his noggin to find that kill. And he's being extremely patient. A lot of time remaining for him to work with. And Le Mans, look at him slowly and steadily moving around the map on the hunt. Bomb was dropped, but Crusher, where does he go now? He's staying down middle, hoping for Le Mans to show up.
Here comes the spot. He once again pulls out the LMG as well. But if that rotation now, just as I mentioned, fiddling with the opponent's mind, that's what he's trying to do, is rotate it all the way towards the opposite side. And he's also going for the plant. While still that man from NonStop, he's lost. And now here comes the confirmation that was needed. Le Mans knows that there's a plant already on the site, and Le Mans on the wrap. He's moving directly towards the site with the same pathway he's supposed to. But I like even what the opponent's doing here. Even what Crusher's doing. Crusher might just have the perfect timing, but he looks back. And that's where Le Mans once again gets the advantage in his hands. No one's looking at the bomb. And honestly speaking, Le Mans can just go for the stick. But no, the plant is actually on his side. And Crusher, he finds the advantage as he spots Le Mans.
Oh man, somehow they do manage to bring that round back. And Le Mans, I think even he had an idea where Crusher was. He was trying to move in towards that mid link, but couldn't really make the complete play. Crusher, as you mentioned, he handled it quite nicely, to be honest, checking mid and the spawn constantly. But let's see now, next round in action, and an instant trade. Le Mans finds the first kill of the round, gets taken out by Husband, so it's down to a 4v4.
Still Babla up close and personal. Panda Express, that previous round really did ignite the hope of them maybe winning this. 2-5, it's not that bad. It's still recoverable.
Yeah.
But if NonStop wins one more round, then it's really bad. And Encrypt is able to already find the trade. And that's not a great thing. Still, for NonStop, they're constantly playing with the trades, and Encrypt, that overextension catches him off guard. And Crusher, the man's activated. Exactly a wild card that you would need in these type of scenarios. And if Crusher finds that momentum, he's the only player who does stand a chance to save the day for his team. Even Rail in a few rounds was doing pretty good. Panda Express, there needs to be that one player who takes matters in his own hands and stops the players of NS. Before NonStop now, this is also a little bit of that reality check. Being overconfident is something that might just stop you from winning a few rounds. But can it stop you from winning this series in a 2-0 fashion? That's what you need to wonder. And maybe it can, considering now it's taken down to just a 1-on-3.
Let's see. Cosmo, he's done so well for himself. Can he clutch out this 1v3? Well, no, I think he's been spotted out. Sees the first. No, he needs the info necro. He's still waiting to see the other players. Oh, baits out the defuse, moves in. Cosmo finds the first. Husband shut down. It's down to 1v2. Cosmo spotted out, just a pixel of HP remaining. He goes for the defuse, tries to stick it. What is that play, man? He tried to stick the defuse right in their face.
Cheeky man. But this is the overconfidence I'm speaking of,
Yeah.
right? NonStop are clearly overconfident with the way they're playing, with the way they're taking the peaks as well. It just does not really make any sense. There's no sequence, there's no push and pull.
Yeah.
And that's what NonStop needs to realize now, because they're getting a little bit too ahead of themselves. They're underestimating the opponents, and that's where the opponents, they might just gain a little bit of that edge that they lost.
Yeah, it could be.
And Reach is once again able to find the opener.
If this goes on like this, then I think Panda Express can make a comeback, but as soon as I say that, NonStop, they chime in, and Encrypt finds Babla, and already it's down to the last man from the set of Panda Express. Urail finds a kill for himself, but it's still a 1 versus 2. And he gets taken out. It's 6-3. NonStop just a round away from closing out the series with a 2-0.
I think we already know what the fate holds. This upcoming round, NonStop, considering in the previous couple of rounds, NonStop realized that, okay, complacency's getting to us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to tighten a few things up and at least hand out the death blow and the finishing blow. And that's what NonStop are here to do. They're here to deliver this finishing blow. Babla, once again, holding that close quarter. 6-3 rounds. And looking at what's happening on the screen, I'm not exactly sure what the game's strategy is. Crusher is the only man who peeked out. Every single player from the side of Panda Express is behind this one single area.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure what the game plan is.
Me neither, man. I think they're just hoping the players of NonStop just show up one by one and just die. It's going to be a 5-stack against individuals with NonStop. They show up together. Look at them. They're waiting. And it's
Ain't
going to
no
be
way.
a mowdown, man. A duel between the two sides. The players of Panda Express are just pinned inside of this corner. And NonStop, they're going to try and find all of those kills for themselves. Although the numbers are swinging in the favor of Panda Express. 3 versus 2.
Loki, that was kind of smart, because that gave them the man advantage.
Yeah, true.
And NonStop got caught off guard. I'm not even sure what they were trying to cook, but I guess, hey, if it works for you, play dirty. Why not?
I don't think that was a dirty play, bro. I think that was just completely fair. 200 IQ move, to be honest.
Crusher was the only man who peeked out, and the only intention for Crusher to peek out was to bait the players.
Yep.
Crusher did his job, but still, what is happening, man? And then Lemon just walks in and gets the kills. Why is this even a possibility? Panda Express, you guys had such a beautiful advantage, but then you just gave it away like that. But hold on, Rail's still alive, but he gets caught off guard. But honestly speaking, that was low-key a W strategy.
Yeah, it was a W strat, man. But they should have utilized this at the early start when, in the early stages, when they still had a manageable advantage to beat. And I think maybe if they started doing things like this, Panda Express could have actually brought themselves back into this matchup. But hey, it's over 7-3. And overall scoreboard is going to read a 2-0 in the favor of Panda Express. So again, a match that we expected them to actually put up a much tougher fight in has not really worked out. They got 2-0'd, and the next one, Necro, is going to be up against Godlike.
Johnny, the strategy was pretty simple. If nothing's working out, do nothing. Let's all stay together, because we as a unit are our strength. And that's what they realized. Playing together is the best strength you can have. The power of friendship and family, just like what Dominic Toretto says.
I don't think he ever said friendship. It was just family, man. For the family.
I mean, technically, in families, you have a lot of friends as well, and that movie is based on friends. So, but you know what? It's fine. Let's move on the conversation.
All right. I mean, yeah. Hopefully they are going to find. I mean, if that is how the analogy is going to go, I think Crusher has to be Dominic Toretto because he was the one man putting up a tough fight in this one. But unfortunately, as it turns out, this was an alternate ending where all of that friendship not really working out, and it was the cops that won.
And now it just really saddens me the fact that they're going to be facing off against Godlike in the upcoming matchup. So I'm not even sure what the game strat's going to be. Maybe pull off the same stuff that you did in the previous one. As I mentioned, violence is not really the thing for Pandas, so that's why they're still over here fighting for the survival. They're just trying to find some bamboos.
Yeah, but do you think Godlike are watching this game right now and maybe they just take it easy in the next one?
Probably. I think so. They are watching the game, but as I mentioned, 2 weeks ago, Neutrino said a thing, and he said that we're not going to take any matchups lightly. We will try to have a flawless run in the Snapdragon Pro Series, and we'll try to dominate every single match we play to set a bar, to set a standard in this region.
Yeah, I have no idea what Panda Express can do then, if that's the case. That's the one thing you would not want for Godlike to get serious against you, especially after a loss like this. But hey, you know what? Back against the wall, once again, nothing to lose. So Panda Express, I mean, just do whatever you please like.
Loki, if you think about it, right, on hardpoint, all the players just stack behind one corner on the hardpoint.
Nah, I don't think that's going to work out, man. I think you just get naded and taken out altogether.
True. But hey, we've got the scoreboard on the screen. I mean, the same thing could have happened in the previous one as well, but unfortunately, they exhausted all their nades off the rip.
True. Way true. But, I mean, let's see, man. It is such a tough loss. I mean, no explanation needed. I think the morale was completely broken for Panda Express after what happened on Hardpoint. And I think with this loss, the mentality is just going to be completely gone going into the next match.
We had to talk about this, man.
Yeah.
Recovering for Panda Express in the upcoming matchup is going to be next to impossible. And now the fact that Panda Express, they should realize one thing. They've got nothing to lose. Already 3 games are going to be done and dusted for them today itself. And if they win this game as well, well, it's done for. They're not going to be able to move on towards the DreamHack finals, which are going to be happening in the future. So for Panda Express, their back's against the wall. They need to play it with a complete pressure-free head.
I think their journey for their dream of moving to the LAN finale might already be over, Necro. I mean, this was their 3rd loss, so it's 0-3 right now for Panda Express. Yeah, and I think the next one is just going to make it 0-4, so not a single game won, and that's just going to be the worst way to go out. But considering it's your last game, give everyone a show. Yeah, exactly. Fight for the pride, give everyone a good showing, a good outing, and as long as that happens, again, it's all about learning from your mistakes. Hopefully the next time they show up, they're going to be a little bit stronger.
Think about it this way. If you break the flawless streak for Godlike, well, then their mental is going to be in a really bad place. So, yeah, for now, let's move on to a short break. The upcoming matchup will be between the Pandas and Godlike.
Looks like the players are ready. Here we go!
solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. Feel like I'm the big dog, been killing it since tip off. Come with it or stay home, the people gon' feel ripped off. It's only major leaguers in the office. If you giving half of an effort round the rest of us, you'll make it awkward. I'm about that action, not the one you talk with. You better hope I'm not the one your coach gon' have you out here really guarding. It took a lot for me to get here, but I have arrived. I really made it and the haters be looking surprised. Been down before, but now I'm better than I've ever been. Through all adversity, I saw them right down at the whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, and it's all good. Yeah. Okay. They say pressure makes diamonds. That's what I align with, cause the journey I've been climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came from the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
You waited all night for me to come back. Why'd you think that it's not right? Told you that I'm not that type. Didn't mean to get you so excited. Tried to tell you not to fall in love. Why you always hit me uninvited? Was hoping you would get the picture. I've had enough. Now it's time for me to turn around. Thought you knew what this was. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have felt for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back your heart. Call it a savage love. Just till I had enough of us. I'm good, babe. I'm on my own. This ain't a phase. Just let me go. Told you that I'm not that type. Don't wanna waste and ride. Begging for one more chance. Yeah, know you got carried away. Ooh, you made me to say. Even this with greatness, space to stay in your place. I was looking to place, then you got in the way. All the love that we made got me stuck in the rain. Got no time to stay here and say goodbye. Yeah, I am superstar. You were never the one for me. Never should have felt for me. Take back your heart. Why don't you take it back? You never had a chance. I'm gonna take back one heart. Call it a savage love. Just till I had enough of us. Yeah.
killing it since tip-off. Come with it or stay home, the people gon' feel ripped off. It's only major leaguers in the office. If you giving half of an effort around the rest of us, you'll make it awkward. I'm about that action, not the one you talk with. You better hope I'm not the one your coach gon' have you out here really guarding. It took a lot for me to get here, but I have arrived. I really made it, and the haters be looking surprised. Been down before, but now I'm better than I've ever been. Through all adversity, I saw them right now at the whatever the problem, we'll solve them. Make it through together, it'll be all love, it's all good. Yeah. Okay. They say pressure makes diamonds. That's what I align with, cause the journey I be climbing is riddled with perfect timing. I'm in a different mode when I be trying to get it. To even get a chance to compete is a form of winning. I mean, what's the point of playing if we ain't striving for greatness? I feel a sense of pride with every play that I'm making. To the top of the world when I came for the basement. Boy, I'm the one and not the two, so don't get it mistaken.
You waited all night for me to come back. Why'd you think that it's not alright? Told you that I'm not that tight.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.
Panda Express now left with nothing to lose. They face off against Godlike. Well, for Godlike, this is just going to be their second game of this entire challenge season. Welcome, after the short break, to Snapdragon Pro Series Call of Duty Mobile Esports. And as we know, Johnny, now this is also going to be the last game for the day. For Godlike, it's a date with destiny, but for the players of Panda Express, this is a final shot at victory and maybe a final shot as they try to fight for the pride.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fight for the pride, to be honest, because it's a team with nothing to lose right now. Panda Express with a team that never loses. That is going to be Godlike. And again, as you mentioned, I mean, Neutrino has been quite adamant about the fact that the underdogs need to improve, and he is going to be the one, along with his teammates, teaching them a lesson on how to get better at this game by just beating them down every single time he runs into anyone inside of any competition. So maybe that is what we're going to witness in front of us yet again. Panda Express already a tough loss to deal with against NS just a few moments ago, but here's the roster for Godlike Esports: Learn, Skull Guy, Trunks, Abyss, and Neutrino. And we all know when these 5 players are in front of you, you're already thinking about, well, how do we deal with the loss now?
All the OG boys, right?
Yep.
We have seen them performing for such a long time. Of course, no changes in the roster because they have been one of the best in the entire country. And even if you try and look at the highlights, I mean, for Godlike, they've been much more clinical with the approach inside of the game. They've just played one single game so far in the entire Snapdragon Pro Series this time around. So there's not a lot to be said, but we know the potential for this team. We know what they possess, and we pretty much know it's also going to be a quick duo.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a quick duo. And Godlike, again, very impressive every single time we've seen them, yet to drop a single map. They have just been dominating throughout their journey, and not just this year, but since the creation of this team. But looking at Panda Express again, expectations were there in the previous series, but NS just with that amazing beatdown. Now it all also comes down to what the veto is going to be like. Who gets to pick Hardpoint, who gets to pick Search and Destroy, and what maps are going to be selected right now. But again, if predictions are going to be asked, as you said, I'm also expecting a quick 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, 2-0 is something we all pretty much know and we all pretty much expect. Now, we do sound pretty biased, yes, I know, but on paper, we know what it is. And
we're being
that's what
honest,
the stats
man.
say. So we got to, yeah, we're just being honest. We're just putting out the stats. We're just putting out the facts. We've also got the map veto on the screen. It's going to be standoff off the rip, a pick from the side of Panda Express. So let's hope maybe in Hardpoint they can give a tough chase to the players of Godlike. But we pretty much know in Hardpoint, Godlike, it's their forte.
Yeah.
You move on towards firing rage, search, and destroy. For Godlike, their team play, their communication is always on point. It's the best with all, if you try and compare them to all the teams that are currently playing in here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things turn out, but let's see. First mood, standoff is going to be the map that's picked by Panda Express. Again, looking for redemption, I guess. Hopefully they get to cross that 20-point marker this time. I mean, they did it last time, got stuck at 26, and I think it was just that delay from Reach was the last man to join. This time he's there right at the start, and here we go. Godlike against Panda Express on standoff.
Solid stuff. And Godlike, I mean, off the rip, not exactly being too aggressive. They're going to let the opponents have a little bit of that control. Well, I thought maybe they will, but they've already pushed on up and they wiped out the team already. You blink it and you miss it. The entirety of the opposition has been wiped out. And now as they move on towards the opposite side, let's just hope that this time around Panda Express can at least try and get something done with the next wave. And yes, they are definitely getting the kills, but those kills are not enough to get the hard point in their hands because Godlike, they're once again back with full force.
Yeah, they are back again with full force, and 21-0 Panda Express still yet to open up on that scoreboard. And the players from the side of Team Godlike, again, we all know the setups are perfect from this team. The firepower in this team is always going to prove too much to deal with. And again, Godlike, I mean, they are off to a great start. 25, the retake comes through. 13 seconds more. They get to control this hard point for themselves.
Godlike, once again, with the experience, they're prevailing inside of this matchup as well. Panda Express now just stuck on 7 as Godlike, they're running away with the control. And soon enough, even the next hard point's going to pop up. It's already popped up, but it's locked down a little bit. And soon enough, it will be activated. So let's just hope that maybe Panda Express on this upcoming hard point, they do stand a chance to snatch it away from Godlike and continue the momentum that they have right now.
Yeah, Reed just catches that man off guard, but Prevail shows up. 2 kills coming through. And Godlike once again in the driving seat for this game. 44-10, 45-10, 46 seconds remaining on the hard point. And Godlike, I don't think they're going to be dragged out of this one for sure. They've left 1 man behind, 4 players out on the hunt, and they're getting those kills without even breaking a sweat. Look at that.
Honestly speaking, stand-up was one of the worst picks that Panda Express could have went for, because for Godlike, we already know holding the hard point is going to be way too easy. All you need to do is just hold the choke points, hold the entrance points, and Panda Express, they won't even stand a chance to move in. But still, somehow, Panda Express, they're getting a few kills, but then Prevail, the man replies back with the heavy investments, and one single man wipes out the entirety of Panda Express. Just look at him. He's lining them up like it does not even mean anything. Yes, the concussion was there to try and stop the man for a bit, but still, the equalizer in the hands of Prevail. It's prevailing every single time. Predator missile pulled out as it's going to find that double kill itself.
Well, let's see though. Ooh, 89-10. Godlike not slowing down. Prevail not willing to slow down himself. And Godlike, I think this hard point as well, it's going to remain in their control for a long time. Very proactive to go for a hunt, the players of Godlike, and that is proving a little too much pressure for the players of Panda Express to deal with. And that is just something that the players of Godlike are just exploiting for themselves. Look at that, not a single individual from the side of Panda Express has hit double digits on that kill counter. The best they have done is Reach, who's sitting on 8 frags, and that is it.
Johnny Prevail's popping off an insane margins, and look at Crusher with this LMG. The man was not even stopping with that trigger. He just never let go of it. It was just spamming through on that corner. Husband's able to find Neutrino as well, and Husband with this flawless 2K. Maybe he can't save the day for the players of Panda Express. I just want to be as hopeful as possible towards Panda Express before Godlike. They're easily running away with the control, and this shotgun in the hands of Prevail. Man, he's able to stack them up on top of each other. And Prevail is just constantly smashing through the opponents. Oh, Johnny, if the same thing keeps on happening, Johnny, I can already see the future.
Yeah, me too, buddy. It's Prevail on 20 kills already. He's looking for a few more. The man's gotten very hungry today. 153-10. Godlike just dominating this game. Now, the question is this loss going to be much worse for Panda Express than it was against the players of NS? They got to 26 that last round.
Oh, Johnny. Well, Fabla, Reach, at least Reach can be the main playmaker maybe, but this time around, Panda Express, they're just stuck on 10. And Panda Express, well, at this point in time, there's not really a lot to say because it's a single-handed domination from the side of Godlike, and it's something we all saw coming. Panda Express, they got rolled by the players of NonStop, and now they're getting rolled by the players of Godlike as well. Panda Express was nothing to lose. They're definitely trying to give a tough fight to the players of Godlike, but this tough fight is really not enough.
Oh, man, it's definitely going to be quite tough, but let's see. 201-10. And Godlike, they're always the first ones to move in. If they aren't, then the retakes are just too clean. Look at this. Panda Express move in for that hard point, and yet still struggling for any form of control. The equalizer is going to be brought out, but can they find some value from this? Crusher at least finds 1 kill, but instant trade down as a claw from Abyss finds the frag. The shutdown comes through, but that's not going to be enough. 213-15, 215-15. Godlike moving closer and closer to the win, man. This is again more one-sided than before.
The way the man's moving towards the victorious points, we definitely know one thing, and that is going to be Godlike. They have already smashed through this first thing, and they're pretty much going to smash through the second one as well. No one's going to be stopping the boys from doing so. Godlike 230-16. And for some reason, as we know, no matter what Panda Express tries to do, it is going to be next to impossible to try and get anything done and establish, especially against the players of Godlike. Prevail, this one single man has been dominating through and through. He's not even scared of the players of Panda Express. He's been disrespecting them from the start till the end. And as I told you, Johnny, Godlike is going to be all about the business. They are going to try to take it as serious as possible.
Yeah, and I think the disrespect is real. Even the loss is going to be much worse. Look at this, 250-16. As we mentioned, it was 26 against NS, 10 less than the last time. Panda Express on the same map, getting dominated by Godlike.
For Pandas, once again,
Not a
violence is
violent
not
speed,
exactly
yeah.
their thing. So so that's why they're not too good with it. For Godlike, that's what they're known for. Godlike has been smashing through the competition in the entire Indian region. So for them, it's they're completely used to this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just another day in the office for the boys.
But man, these Pandas need to be sent to that Master Shifu boot camp now if this is the case. All of them need to turn into the Dragon Warrior because, yeah, otherwise this is what happens every single time.
I mean, especially looking at the way Pandas played, right?
Uh-huh.
They were trying their best, I'm not going to lie, but then Prevail happened. This man with the shotgun, this man with the equalizer, he just completely nullified the chances of Panda Express even having a bit of that control on the hard point.
Yeah, man, I mean, he was just cleaning up, showed up with a broom,
Look at
sweeping
this.
every inch of this map and just making sure that the Pandas were nowhere to be seen.
The man was pushing through the faces, taking him down like it did not even mean anything. And that too with a plumb shotgun, by the way. And for some reason, Panda Express, they had no reply to the players of Godlike. There's not really a lot to say about the previous hard point, considering it was a complete one-sided stomp. And honestly speaking, for Panda Express, all they need to do is improve, man. Take this as a learning curve and try and do better.
Necro, look at that. Not a single player was there on a hard point for even 10 seconds, man. The best they did was 6 seconds, which was Crusher and Husband.
And I think so that too was off the rip, right? Especially on the first point.
Yeah.
After that, the players of Panda Express were getting countered left, right, and center. And this is what I'm saying. Standoff was the worst pick the players could have went for. Because imagine, yes, I do understand holding the hard point is much more easier. Maybe that's why Panda Express went for it. But imagine if the hard point's in the hands of Godlike.
Man, I don't think, I mean,
for them, it's a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, again, I mean, not a lot of options when you're playing against a team like Godlike. So, yeah, the logic that you mentioned, I mean, things are a little bit easier to control once you actually move in for the hard point. It becomes a little bit easier to control. A few P2 and P3 in particular do allow you to control those choke points if you can and try and make a comeback. But that didn't happen at all. But hey, hard point done and dusted. I think it's time we move towards Search and Destroy on firing range. And let's see if Panda Express can try and win a few rounds on this map.
Hey, it's one of the classic maps, right? Maybe Panda Express, they are going to be well prepared against Godlike. But Godlike, for them as well, it's a classic map, and they're well-versed of how teams like to play. Experience is on par compared to the players of Panda Express, and for Panda Express, there's a lot to learn. As I mentioned, they should not be discouraged after this matchup. Instead, they should look at it as a learning curve. And off the rip, at least things kick off in a trade-off way. There's a big setup inside of this entire building, and what did I just witness? A mow down from Trunks. Eventually, Trunks' wall, he gets wrapped up in a sheet for reaches up close and personal, and the spear to end things off. Oh, the salt on top of the wounds.
Yeah, that again breaks your mind completely, breaks the morale of the team. The early trade did give a little bit of probability or a possibility for Panda Express to try and somehow gain some control, get towards the side, go for the plant, and secure the win. But Godlike, they are just too proactive with their movement. Look at that. They move through mid, and they're going to try and breach and backstab the players of Panda Express altogether. There's no one left on the B side as Neutrino has been picked off. It's a 4v5 situation. Panda Express have the numbers advantage to win with.
I like this adaptation for Panda Express. They realize that Godlike is pushing up from one side completely,
oh, look at this.
even though they're on the defense. So that's why at Panda Express, they prioritize one site, and now they've also got the site control. For Godlike, the only way they can smash through is now by communicating properly and with a proper team play. The first man gets spotted, Learn and the Beast is able to find a nice trade-off with each other. And for some reason, Panda Express, they're just lost in this hard point. And just like that, this side has been retaked, and Godlike, they do not even break a sweat.
That was a 3v5 retake, man. And again, all the individuals from the side of Panda Express just got caught slacking and lacking, looking somewhere else completely. Godlike just made it look easy.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
That's what you call it. No matter what you try to say, no matter how much you try to glorify how Godlike is playing, it's not enough. But unfortunately for Panda Express, a team that lacks experience, these sort of beatings are really necessary. It's a learning curve that Panda Express needs to go through, because in the future they will be forged for greatness. For now, Babla, being the last man standing, is trying his best to get something done, get something established, but that best is not even close to test the limits of Godlike.
I mean, we knew how this matchup was going to turn out, Necro. Let's be honest about it. I think we were more hopeful from Panda Express going up against NS. That is the game that I wanted them to win, to be honest, and they did actually have a possibility of winning it, but I think after that first loss, their head was just not inside of the match. And now that's just transitioned into this game as well, and Godlike is just beating them out down much worse than before, but Trunks, hey, might as well flex a little. If you aren't able to win the game, just try and do the same to the opposing player. Now it's a melee warfare, and Crush is just whacking everyone.
It's a complete melee warfare.
Yeah.
Someone's punching them. Someone's pulling out the spears. What is going on?
Hey, someone needs to penalize Abyss for that, man. He brought a gun to a melee warfare.
I don't even feel like I'm watching a professional game at this point. I feel like I'm watching something else.
Yeah, it's not.
I feel like I'm watching two friendly teams play against each other and just doing some weird stuff.
Man, I don't like what happened to Crush in the last round. I'm going to be honest about it. He was very honest, just pushed through with a stick.
Oh, melee fight
with
again!
A melee. And there it is. This time Abyss, he brings out the melee as well. Look at him, Crusher. He's calling it a challenge. Wants to take the fight head on, but no. Abyss, why are you doing this? Somebody stop
Betrayal.
him. Yeah. Neutrino needs to have a conversation with this boy over there.
What is going... Even when they were playing with guns, all it took was 10 seconds to conclude the round. And now you can say pretty much it's the same thing, Abyss! He's lined him up. 3 already found, but I guess the players of Panda Express, they don't even want to play with guns anymore. They just want to play with melees. And Rail's able to find Learn. Hold on, still a chance. Abyss, this man's on the hunt. Man with the sniper, he does not have any interest of playing with a melee. Abyss is over here to farm.
Yeah. I mean, he did farm quite well in that previous round as well. I think picked up like 3 or 4 players with that sniper of his, already sitting on 15 kills. And Reed just left the game. It's over, Necro. It's done and dusted already.
Yeah, they've given up. Godlike to have one. And now that they're on the attack, yeah, getting a little bit of that salt on top of the wounds. Of course, the melees are really panning out in their favor, but Godlike, as we know, they've already got such a behemoth lead. It's going to be next to impossible to snatch it away from the side of Panda, from the side of Godlike. But still, a betrayal from a Rail. He pulls out the gun. And now Godlike are definitely not going to be happy after this. And look at where Trunk is positioned.
He's a stalker.
He's all the way at the top, just looking down on the boys.
Neutrin as well. These two lads were just watching where the players... Oh, he's been spotted out. Somehow Neutrino does survive. It's a 2v2 still. He's just chilling.
What? He threw a smoke grenade at him. It's not going to do anything, my friend. Rail's able to find Neutrino too. Hold on. Johnny, 1-on-2.
Yeah.
Can't Trunks clutch it.
They're challenging
He has
him to a
clutched
melee
it
fight,
time and time with guns. Oh, at least it's not a 7-0.
Yeah. Do they call Reach back now?
Maybe they do.
Is he going to join in again?
1% chance.
I don't think he's coming
no,
back.
I don't think so. He's going to join because that was gifted by Godlike.
Oh, probably why. I think that was one of the reasons why Trunks just stood there. He's like, I'm going to make it even, just a 4v for you guys play. I'm just going to sit and chill up top.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. He had a little bit of that mercy.
Yeah.
On the players of Panda Express. But we already know what the end call is. And Trunks with the shotgun. Now it's just farming. It's done. Godlike. They have won this series against the players of Panda Express in a complete one-sided fashion. And for Panda Express, this is it. Their journey in this Snapdragon Pro Series Season 6 has come to an end. It was a pleasure to cast these guys before
Yeah.
Panda Express. One thing is for sure, they've got a lot to learn in the future, and hopefully they will be back with the experience.
Yeah, man. As we were talking about, not an aggressive species. They need to attend that Dragon Warrior boot camp, all of them, and show up much stronger the next time. But to be honest, as we were talking about it, going up against Godlike, this is the result that we expected, right? It was that one game against NS where all hope was lost already, and showing up into this, I think they just showed up to have some fun. And Godlike, kudos to them as well. They, after a point, I think even they realized Panda Express have given up, and even they were up to shenanigans. They're like, all right, we're going to take it easy now.
Panda Express pretty much gave up on Standoff itself because they knew they couldn't really do a lot. In Standoff 2, you saw Panda Express for a moment just standing in their own same spot, and Panda Express knew that, okay, now we can't do anything anyway, so it's completely fine, guys. We can try and pull off some weird shenanigans if we do want. They had a little bit of hope from Search and Destroy. That's why in the first few rounds they did give it all they have, but their all was not even enough to test the limits of Godlike. And that's how Panda Express, they pretty much gave up and started playing with the melees in the end.
Kudos to them for doing that, by the way. I mean, kudos to Crusher, who started it, and his teammates who followed it up. I mean, I don't know why he chose to just shoot them, all of them, with that sniper when the men were running around in front of him with nothing but melees. And I wish he could have joined into the fun and games as well. He did join in later, just like Trunks. But Trunks felt betrayed once he got shot, and the next round he just shows up with a shotgun, just takes out two, and just ends it all. But what an impressive matchup coming in from Godlike, and I think this is what we expected as well. Now again, Panda Express, as you mentioned, their journey in the Snapdragon Pro Series comes to an end. It was a pleasure, but we still have to see which 6 names will progress from here to the LAN finale, and we have just one more day left of action.
As you mentioned, one more day to go, and that's when the final conclusion will be made. Which are those 6 teams to move on towards the DreamHack LAN that will be happening in Hyderabad itself. And Johnny, I'm super excited for that because it's not that far away anyways. Just the upcoming month, and the days will be there. But honestly speaking, Panda Express, unfortunate stuff. Today was the final day for them to perform, and they were not able to get anything done. Non-stop off the rip, they started things off in quite a great fashion against Panda Express, and then Panda Express, they pretty much lost their hope. We pretty much knew what the course of action is going to look like when they face off against Godlike, and that's what exactly happened. But if you try and speak of how the day started off, I mean, today's day was filled with a lot of 2-0s, man.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean a lot? Every single series we saw was 2-0, and I mean, the last 2 matches from Group B, though they were something else entirely. First NS, and then Godlike, and then Accelerate matchup as well. That was also a complete one-sided affair. Even Anthem performing extremely well for themselves today. So I think today was the day dominated by the stronger teams. But tomorrow it's going to be intense as well. We have NS going against Time to Pound, 2 matches of Godlike where they face off against 5 AM and Time to Pound. You have NS taking on Panda Express. Now that's Panda Express, their matches are done, so I think that is going to be updated. But again, a lot of exciting matches happening tomorrow, and again, Godlike 2 more matches remaining, so there's still a possibility for them to actually bring themselves back into the action. Not back into the action, but take the top spot away from the side of Time to Pound. And I think it's going to be that Godlike and Time to Pound match tomorrow. That's going to be the highlight for the day.
Oh, hands down. Time to Pound, they've been having quite a flawless run so far, right? So for Time to Pound, the only way they can try and redeem themselves is by taking down the players of Godlike, but we pretty much know what the course of action is going to look like over there as well. It should be Godlike smashing through against the players of Time to Pound, because we have seen a little bit of those cracks in the play style of Time to Pound. Nothing taken away from them. They're a great team with a lot of experience, but still not enough to face off against Godlike. Leaderboards of Group A on the screen. Accelerate with a 4-0 flawless victory in this entire challenge season. They move on towards the LAN.
Yeah, Accelerate already moving forward. Anthem as well, I think, are in a safer position right now. They have 1 more match to go, which is going to happen tomorrow against Strike. So the possibility is going to be there that Anthem also pushes forward. That 3rd spot also, I believe, has been secured. But NonStop, here you have it, 2-1, leading the charge right now. Time to Pound pushed to the 2nd. Godlike on the 3rd with no losses on the board. So I think that is also going to switch up. Time to Pound and Godlike. That match will decide which team will lead the chart, sitting on the 1st position in the overall leaderboard. But Panda Express, I think this is that one team that has been eliminated. And now 5 AM tomorrow, going up against Godlike. I think Group B, we know the top 3 that are going to be moving forward. It's going to be NS, Time to Pound, and Godlike. That group is
tomorrow,
done.
Time to Pound I guess tomorrow, Time to Pound and Godlike are going to be playing 2-2 matches.
Yeah.
So I would love to see how that division's going to come through. And NonStop's going to be playing that one game. So I would love to see who NonStop's going to be facing off. So tomorrow's schedule is definitely going to be super exciting and super thrilling. Because we know for Group A as well, a lot of the games, the majority of the games are done.
Yeah.
But still 2 more games will be played tomorrow itself. So far with how this challenge season has been, it's been incredible, man. We were back after such a long break. And one thing is for sure, that break was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it, especially the action that we got to witness today, right? And again, all the strong teams, it seems like they've prepped up more, and they are all setting themselves up for that LAN finale. And again, just one more day to go before we have the 6 names. I mean, we do already have at least 5. I think it's just 1 spot remaining from the Group A that's still up for grabs, and I think that is going to be decided tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and how can we forget that play from Extinct, Johnny, today? Man, this man was on monstrous mode. He was taking down the opponents like they did not even mean anything. As you mentioned, chef's kiss. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, with that chef's kiss, today's day as well, it comes to an end. Tomorrow, we'll see you guys with the final day of the challenge season. For now, that's going to be it from me and Johnny. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming, Monster Energy, and DHL.